To be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. To protect your brother, even from himself. To give support at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most importantly, we ourselves don't dishonor it. From previous legends who have donned the black and gold. These virtues I learned while playing for the Steelers are what make the legacy of the black and gold timeless. They are passed down in the locker room from the steel curtain to anyone who valiantly wears the black and gold. Creating a brotherhood that is deeper than money, business, and winning. To be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. This is our culture, Steeler culture.
Now, here are your hosts, Rob and Dan, the Steel Twins.
Let's rock. Let's rock. Let's rock.
You gotta stop hitting the button several times. Like, seriously.
Let's rock.
Steelers Nation, what's going on? Welcome to episode 73 of the Steeler Culture Podcast.
Let's rock.
As Dan just hits the fucking button, can you stop?
Sorry. I'm excited, man. Rookie Minicamp happened this past weekend.
Yeah, it has concluded. It's done. Rookie Minicamp is finished, and we are on to OTAs next week.
Yes, sir, man. So these rookies are just getting their feet wet in the black and gold. They're getting their first taste, their first bit of feel in the black and gold since being drafted a couple weeks back, man. So we're all feeling good. There's some news to come out of Rookie Minicamp. Nothing is set in stone regarding any of the news, but it does give us some glimpse, a potential look at what the Steelers will be doing this upcoming training camp and the entire season in regards to where these guys are going to be lined up and where these guys are going to be playing and how significant their time and their play time will be early on into the season. Which, in our opinion, I think a lot of you guys would agree, especially when we look at what happened in last year's rookies. We think this year's rookies could have a significant impact early on. It's just a matter of if the coaching wants to give them the playing time early on, which they all do deserve, man. So we're here to talk about that, plus some of the signings the Steelers made this week, which is nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing crazy, nothing that we should all be excited about.
Are you sure? Could you say we got a significant playmaker to the offense, to the roster?
Well, not just that, but the guy we signed today because of Rookie Minicamp. You know, one of the old vets that the Steelers invited to make a chance for himself, to give himself another chance at the NFL, and he was signed today. That name is Anthony Averett, a former Baltimore Raven. We'll talk about him as well. So there's some stuff to talk about in today's podcast, episode 73 of the Steeler Culture Podcast. Shout out to Ramon Foster, and shout out to current Steeler Isaac Sayamala for rocking number 73.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight on this Sunday night of, May 12th already, mid-May already. My goodness. Hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. If there's any mothers watching, happy Mother's Day to you guys. If you guys had a mother out there, hope you guys cherished her, had a great Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and all the mothers out there, to you guys. So shout out to them, man. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Here to talk about rookie minicamp and kind of break it down a little bit. Obviously, the biggest thing about the draft class was the emphasis on the offensive line.
Yes.
So I think that's a good way to start with this breakdown is obviously the first pick being Troy Fautanu. The question is, where is he going to play? Tomlin has said he is a tackle. There is no concern with his size or his arm length. He is going to be a tackle. The question is, where are they going to line him up? Well, again, nothing's set in stone because of this, but if minicamp gives us a little bit of a glimpse, Troy Fautanu lined up at right tackle in minicamp or during rookie minicamp.
Yes, it's specifically day one of rookie minicamp.
Yeah.
Now, it is day one. They could experiment a couple other things. They can move him over to left tackle and keep Broderick at right, do a couple tryouts there, do a couple reps there just to see what the flow is, how they gel, what's their chemistry, just how they're going to work together.
Yeah.
But if you remember what Omar Khan stated at I believe it was the NFL Combine, if I'm not mistaken.
Is either the Combine or the annual owners meeting.
Yeah,
one of the two.
Khan alluded to Broderick Jones, last year's first-round pick, that he was scouted as a left tackle and drafted to be a left tackle, and he will play left tackle eventually.
Yes, and when Khan says something, you take that with full importance because he doesn't just say things to say things. Khan has done almost everything to great perfection thus far. Hopefully everything ages to the potential that we know it has. But everything he's said and everything he's done has been of almost near perfection. Not everything, but almost everything. So when he says something like that, I'm thinking, yeah, that means Broderick's going to be moved over to the left at some point, and the drafting of Fautanu is giving them all the flexibility in the world to do that.
Yes.
Fautanu lined up at right tackle during this year's rookie minicamp. Now, during the whole draft process and after the draft and after the initial reactions and the whole emotions that were aligning there, there was a thought maybe they keep Broderick at right tackle and put Fautanu at left since Fautanu has experience at left, playing all his reps at left tackle for Washington.
Yeah.
So maybe they want to ease him into the NFL by keeping him at left since Broderick has how many games started last year at right tackle. So there's a little bit of comfortability there. Or perhaps if you want to go full comfortability with a guy like Broderick, he has stated that he's more comfortable at left. You can move Fautanu over to right. Fautanu has stated that he's played everywhere on the line. Because of his coaches at Washington, they have done cross-training at every position on the offensive line. So a transition from left to right is going to be smoother, in my opinion, than many people think for Fautanu
And that's just
compared to Broderick.
Not just the training and the coaching that he underwent in Washington, but the fact of his athleticism and just how, great he was in Washington.
Yeah.
Because of his athleticism, because of his flexibility on the offensive line. And the fact of the matter that he was the non-blind side on Washington's offensive line. He was the left tackle as Michael Penix was left-handed. So the fact that he was the non-blind side on the offensive line, him moving over to right, it shouldn't really factor or play an effect into his play as being the non-blind side blocker.
No, and this is actually what Fautanu had to say about playing right tackle, and this is on the Steelers.com website. So I'll put here. He says, wherever the coaches decide to put me is where I'm going to try and play, said Fautanu. It's just the footwork, flipping the footwork. I'm used to playing left for so long. But shout out to my coach back in college. He did a really good job of making sure that we were able to play both sides. Whenever we do individual drills that we do every single day, we did right-hand stances, left-hand stances, just different things like that. I'm very confident in my ability, and when whatever play is called, I'm going to try and do my best to do my job. I'm just ready to work and ready to learn. So he's comfortable moving to right. So I think that transition's a lot more smoother, a lot better long-term compared to a guy like Broderick, where Broderick has stated he's more comfortable at left.
Yeah.
And, that's where he played the majority of his reps in college, and it's just because of those reasons why they should just flip the tackles. It makes a lot more sense, and I think you would have your line solidified right there.
Yeah, big time. The tackle position finally fulfilled, finally solidified.
Right, and I understand that there is that that inkling in the back of Steeler Nation's head. Well, here we are again drafting guys just to put them out of their position, which is still the case. It's still true. You know, I mean, that's still an issue with our offensive line. But at least with Fautanu, he's comfortable. He's played it a little bit, and he has experience with that in the practice side of things back at Washington. So he's a lot more comfortable, a lot more fluid in that already than most of our available guys there. More than a Dan Moore or more than a Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
So I think Fautanu moving the right is the move to go. I think a lot of you guys would agree, and the signs do point that that's what they're going to do. Most of it will really matter come training camp, but the fact that they're already kind of getting his feet wet there in mini camp could be all the signs pointed that that's what they're going to do.
And plus, it was on day one again. Like, they were right out of the gate quick to put him at right tackle on day one of rookie minicamp.
Right.
So that pretty much goes to show their intention already of where they want to have him at the moment.
Yeah. So it's all about comfortability. That's the biggest thing about the line. It's about comfortability. Broderick has said he's most comfortable at left. Move him to left. And Fautanu has said he is very comfortable at playing right. In some cases, it might be a little uncomfortable to start, but sometimes you got to be uncomfortable to get comfortable. So I think that's the best way to go, man. And holy shit. Inmate man, look at this. Dropping down a bomb with a $100 super chat. He just simply puts Super Bowl bound. Inmate man. Much thanks, bro. Holy shit. I have no words. I am sidetracked. I look down to the comment section for 1 second, and I see a fucking $100 bomb swear jar. My goodness, man.
Do we even have? Yeah, we have a bit in here.
Might as well use it. My goodness. Shout out to Inmate Man for the 100. That is incredible.
Inmate man, thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks very much, man. That means a lot. A lot more than you would think, man. Seriously, that's insane.
Like an RKO out of nowhere, just dropping it. Boom.
We gotta find something for these sound pads for when something like that happens.
we gotta install some
sound bite or something. If there's anything that you guys would want to have as a sound bite for things like that, let us know in the chat. We'd love to get your guys' suggestions, because right now I'm trying to think of something and I can't find anything yet. So I want to get something for instances like that. But shout out to Inmate Man for that, man. That is incredible. Thank you.
Inmate Man says y'all deserve it. Inmate Man, we appreciate that, bro.
Nah, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. And hope you had a great Mother's Day, man, with all that and everything. So, my goodness. So, yeah, shout out to you, bro. Seriously. Steely in the chat says the O-line starters are set. Yeah, with this Fautanu news, I would think that the O-line starters are set now.
As they should be, yeah.
So, our inkling after the draft, which was eventually Broderick Jones at left, Isaac Seumalo at left guard, Zach Frazier at center, James Daniels at right guard, and Troy Fautanu at right tackle.
Yeah, and I'm anticipating Fautanu. It all depends on training camp and OTAs, of course, and even preseason at that.
Sure.
But I'm anticipating Fautanu to be a day one starter.
Yes.
Considering the fact that it was reported that the Steelers had him as their second-ranked tackle just after Joe Alt.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have him ranked that high, I mean, odds go to show that you see him as a significant starter.
Well, let's just put it this way. Correct me if I'm wrong. For the first time in the franchise's history, they drafted a left tackle or an offensive tackle in back-to-back years in the first round. Why are you drafting two top tackles in the first round in back-to-back years to not start them day one?
Yeah, just to keep going with Dan Moore. It just wouldn't make sense.
I don't care how long he's been a starter. I don't care if he is serviceable or not. You don't draft tackles early on into the draft and back-to-back years and not start them day one.
And not just that. Last year, they traded up for Broderick because they had to, and I'm glad that they did.
Yeah.
Cost literally nothing. And the draft still worked in their favor. And a man that was supposed to go top 10 fell all the way down to 20.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they can absolutely be the significant tackle starters, especially Fautanu.
Dude, that tackle duo, my goodness.
It's just filthy.
And shout out to Menard's Maniac in the chat, who's an STM member with a $2. Says Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Super Bowl. I've been itching for a Super Bowl 45 rematch, man. I still hold a grudge over that. That still leaves a bad taste in my mouth because that was our last Super Bowl appearance, which was almost 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's too long. It's been too long. Yeah.
Call me spoiled, but yes, it has been too long. I'm sorry.
Hey, Green Bay's a team in the NFC that could sneak their way up. Love had a great year last year.
It's a sneaky team.
Yeah, they are.
It's a sneaky team. Matt LaFleur has done a good job of keeping them within contention with A-Rod. Now Love, it's just, I could see it. I could see them definitely being a sneaky sleeper team in the NFC.
Well, just good quarterback play for the third straight quarterback.
Well, so far.
so far.
So far.
You know, like, they're going to be bound if Love keeps it up, but we'll see.
Yeah, but
We'll see.
I would love that. I would love that, man. I still have my own little personal doubts regarding the Steelers being a Super Bowl bound team. It mostly has to do with our coaching staff and my distrust in the coaching staff because they haven't won us anything in recent years. So I'm holding off on that. But I do fully agree and believe that this team is building for a Super Bowl squad. I mean, just look what Omar Khan's doing.
Well, they brought in Russell Wilson. I mean, like, yes, they're going to
They
compete.
completely fixed the line.
Listen,
they drafted a stud linebacker at the end of the third round.
Yeah, listen, if Kenny Pickett was still the quarterback, no freaking thank you. That's not happening.
Well,
With
clearly
Russell
not.
Wilson, I mean, despite how some people may think of Russell Wilson, they're going to take that chance at the vet minimum.
They switched the entire offensive scheme, and this is going to be a segment later on in the show, but I'm going to say it right now. They will be trading for a wide receiver. I don't know when. It might not be till the trade deadline midseason, but they will be trading for a big-name wide receiver because reports have shown they've talked to teams regarding a wide receiver, big-name wide receivers. And we still need a wide receiver. So at some point, they will be making a trade for a big-name receiver.
Now we'll talk about
who, where, I don't know, but I think it's going to happen.
Hey, we'll talk about it later.
We will, but I do think that's going to happen. And when and if that ever does happen, yeah, this team is making a full-fledged run, no doubt about it, especially with Hayward and Watt and Minka and their primes and all that.
The addition of Queen.
They deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah.
So I do have my disbelief in the coaching, but I absolutely do agree with you guys that this team is building for Super Bowl bound. It really is. It really is. But yeah, regarding Fautanu, yeah, he should start day one. And that tackle deal is going to be incredible.
Yeah, it is.
The potential is sky high.
The whole rebranding of the offensive line in general is sky high.
Yeah, it is.
Especially with an established center now with Zach Frazier. At least that's the hope.
Yeah, man. And Zach Frazier, you know, just he's going to be a stud. I'm so excited about Zach. I'm just excited we got the center position filled.
Finally.
It feels good.
And listen, when it comes to the center position, it's a pure center. The last two centers we had, you guys already know who they are. They were not pure centers. Not even Mason Cole.
No.
He was not a pure center.
Not even close. This guy.
The guy arguably wasn't even a starter.
Who, Cole?
If we're being real.
No, I mean, he's what you call good depth.
Yeah.
Well, good might be a stretch, but he's a depth piece.
He's a depth piece, just like Dan Moore, a depth piece.
Right.
That's their role.
But no, I mean, now that we got the most pure center in the draft, completely filled this line. Now the signs point to them switching the tackles over. Yeah, this line is set, bro. This line is going to be filthy with a guy like Najee and Warren running the ball with Wilson and Smith's scheme. I mean, the potential's there. The potential is absolutely there.
Yeah.
Especially with, you know, how we're still going to be running with our play actions. We're going to be bringing that back, and the receivers that, you know, we have is a concern. It absolutely is. But we know Pickens, I think he's going to be bound for a big year 3, being the true number 1 now. Roman Wilson, I think, could play the 2, and I think they're going to view him as the 2 so far.
Well, name me another guy that's the number 2 so far.
It's going to be Roman Wilson.
Okay, then. There we go.
Well, what I'm saying is I think they're going to view Roman Wilson as the number 2 now and give him that chance. And if they really have to midseason, that's when they make the trade.
Right.
So
And we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Sterling in the chat says, to be honest, Dan Moore is worth a 4th, 5th pick. You saying we should trade him?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
Well, I don't see him coming back.
Excuse me.
But then my question is, who's the depth piece? We don't have we don't have tackle depth.
Outside of Dylan Cook, outside
Spencer
of that,
Anderson?
maybe Spencer Anderson, if they want to give him that attempt, they want to give him
I don't know.
that opportunity, maybe.
Listen, we're not the biggest fans of Dan Moore. We have made that evident very clearly.
As a starter, he's not a starter. As a depth piece, that's more than capable. He's fine.
As a swing guy, I do not mind Dan Moore
As that
remaining on the roster.
extra lineman in short line or short goal line situations, perfect.
But if there's a chance that we can get like a 4th out of him and he gets a chance to start elsewhere, I think that's best for both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm snagging that.
You just pray that your tackles don't get hurt. And you've improved the depth department in that tackle room. But, you know, we'll see if something ever comes of that. But I do agree. I mean, if we trade for him or if we trade him away, yeah, we think a 4th, 5th is about his market. I mean, makes sense, right? I mean, granted, what team's going to trade something? What team's going to trade an early day 3 pick for someone that might not even be with them next year? Or it could be like Kevin Dotson. Could be like Kevin Dotson all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where
maybe.
we traded Kevin Dotson to the Rams. He started for the Rams last year and grabbed the bank. Granted, they put him in the right position.
And he was just in the right scheme. I don't know about Dan Moore. I mean, the guy's a left tackle, but he's not exactly a good starting left tackle.
No, he's serviceable, though. So perhaps the team could do that and then give him a decent little contract.
Yeah.
That starting experience, teams will value that a lot.
Yeah, they will. They will.
A lot of teams are going to value that.
They
So
could throw something the Steelers' way if a team were to be calling.
it could happen. And the way Omar Khan has been doing business around here, especially with the Colbert's blunders, he's been flushing these guys out pretty quickly. So maybe Dan Moore is that last little piece there that he's going to flesh out from Colbert's blunders. Just saying. Colbert drafted him, not Khan.
Yeah.
He already got rid of Kenny. He got rid of Claypool.
Come to think of it,
he got rid of Green. He got rid of Dotson.
I think Moore's the only guy remaining. I think he's the last man standing.
Well, unless you count Muth and Najee.
Well, I'm talking about like bad players. Talking about bad players.
Oh.
Muth and Najee, they're good. Well, Muth to a degree when he's consistent, but like Dan Moore, as far as bad players,
I'm throwing it out there. I mean, history shows he's trying to flesh these guys out. He seems to be the last guy there. It could happen. It might not happen, but it could. So, you know, that's a trade we could see later down the road. Maybe he's included in the wide receiver trade if we ever get one. I don't know. See what happens, man. But if something like that's ever going to happen, it's going to be like during the final cuts or during preseason with us, something like that. It's going to be months later on. But it's something. It's something that could obviously be a thought in your head until we get to that point.
Right.
So, not just that, but guys that the Steelers could extend. Because there could be a couple guys that are ready to get extended, so we ain't got to worry about them being free agents next year.
Yeah.
So.
And Khan makes it evident that when he's looking to extend somebody, he'll do it right before the regular season.
Yes.
Who remembers when he extended Minka and Deontay and Boswell?
Yeah.
All before the regular season.
He did
happened.
Highsmith last year.
He did.
So
someone's bound to get an extension for sure.
Yeah, and we do believe
if the pattern keeps on going.
Yeah, and if there's one guy that indicates that, it's going to be James Daniels.
Or
could it not be? Or could it not be? Because again, nothing's set in stone with minicamp, but you know, the one thing the Steelers love the most about their offensive linemen, and mostly with their depth, is the versatility. And they have made that evident with a guy like Mason McCormick, who they drafted in the 4th round at 119.
Yeah.
He lined up at right guard during rookie minicamp.
Yes, he
Now,
did.
he played all 3 years
At South Dakota State.
at left guard. Never played right guard, but he did practice. During practice, he would line up at right guard. He was even the backup center for them. Never played the positions, but he was that emergency guy in those situations, and very similar to Fautanu in Washington. You know, what he did at South Dakota State and the coaching staff, they did cross-training. Mm-hmm. So there's that versatility there.
Yeah.
So perhaps maybe James Daniels walks. This is his last year with the Steelers, which we hope not. But, you know, Khan did say after drafting him, he said, we drafted Mason McCormick because guys like Nate Herbig and James Daniels are in the last years of their contract. So say they can't get an extension done. Well, they have an insurance plan in McCormick.
Yeah, they do.
You know, we also throw the idea that maybe this is Sayamalu's last year, and they could look at Sayamalu, who's going to be 32 next year, being a cap casualty. They would save almost $8 million cutting him, and McCormick could step in at left guard. That's a possibility as well. But they're looking at their guys and the versatility as insurance policies. That's what they do with McCormick here, lining him up at right guard.
Right.
So we'll see. What I want to know with a guy like McCormick is in training camp, and especially in the preseason, if they're going to line him at right guard. I think they would, but it's just a matter of like with who, when, at what parts in the games. I know that's months from now, but I think that's really going to be an importance there once, or if they ever line him up at right guard during an actual game.
Right.
In the preseason, that's probably when it's going to happen, but I think that's kind of getting his feet wet there, just in case of those situations.
No, it definitely is. You know, we the majority of us see McCormick as obviously a depth piece, a guy that's going to be moved around a lot interiorly, whether that's at left or right guard, maybe even center, to kind of maybe split reps with Nate Herbig, or even compete with Nate Herbig just to see who could be the second tier You know what I mean?
Right.
Or maybe Herbig could be the left and McCormick could be the right guard or vice versa, while one of them could also play as a backup center potentially. You know,
Right.
they're just, getting his feet wet. They're experimenting with the rookie, the young stud, just to see where he's more comfortable at. And when it comes to him potentially starting down the line in the future, at least they know exactly, where he can stand on his own.
Right, and he is an older rookie at 24, or he's going to be 24, I believe. But regardless, I do view him as a future starter. Not this year, clearly. We have our guards set, but that could be a situation next year where that's completely different. Mm-hmm. Say Amalu or Daniels could be gone. Think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a huge possibility.
Yeah, and Cody Kuhn in the chat says they might not be able to afford Daniels what they want to pay him. Guard salaries are getting high. Yeah, this free agency
Cody, you're
period,
right.
This free agency period, yeah, the guards got paid, especially by I think the teams like the Panthers.
Yeah,
they
the Panthers paid
Boku bucks for both their guards. In fact, I'm going to search up highest paid guards in NFL. I want to see what the salary looks like.
I know Landon Dickerson, I know he got extended too, if I'm not mistaken.
Chris Lindstorm is averaging $20.5 million now.
Jesus Christ.
Robert Hunt is averaging $20 million. Zach Martin is averaging $18.5 million. Kevin Dotson, who got paid, is averaging $16 million. Wyatt Tellers is averaging $14.2 million. Compared to James Daniels, who was at the time when he got paid by the Steelers, he is only averaging $8.833 million.
Yeah, he's definitely due for a big raise, big payday.
He deserves it, but would it be highest paid? Or would it be along the lines of like a Dotson or a Teller in between? If they get something like that going, that's a steal of a deal.
It is.
That's a complete team move by James Daniels. But perhaps they pay him more. Perhaps Daniels wants more. Perhaps his agent's going to give him more.
I can see Daniels wanting more. I can see Daniels vouching to be the highest paid guard in the NFL. I don't know if I would give him that much money, a little over $20 million for a guard.
Not 20, no.
No, that's a little too pricey, especially when it comes to other offensive weapons that we're probably going to be looking to extend.
Pickens,
you know what I mean?
maybe a trade for a wide receiver we're going to need. I'm just going to.
It may just come down to business, but when it comes to Daniels and his worth, I would say, because you said it was, what, $8 million at the moment?
$8.83 million is what he's making right now.
I would say he's worth a $10 million raise. I think around $18.5 million, maybe even 19 is doable.
Even then, that's still a little
It could be a bit of a stretch, but if he really stands out this upcoming year, if he really proves himself once again as that standout right guard, as that bulldozer, that great lineman that he has been since he's been with the team, then absolutely.
Well, he's still, what, only 26, 27?
Yeah, he's very, very young still.
He'll be 27 in September. He's still incredibly young. So he can cash out on a massive payday next year.
But you also got to look at
before preseason.
You also got to look at the age he has at the moment, but the experience at the same time. He's been playing since he was 20.
I know.
He's been playing so with that experience there, yeah, he may be demanding more money.
He's going to cash big somewhere.
I'm kind of hoping that he sticks around with Pittsburgh, but if it comes down to a business standpoint, at least the Steelers do have their insurance policy in McCormick.
Yeah, and that's why they're putting him a right guard in minicamp to get his feet wet there. But I am in the belief that Daniels will be extended right before preseason. I could be wrong, but I mean, what Connor's been doing kind of gives me that impression. Or perhaps again, like it won't be able to happen because of the guard salaries going up, like Cody alluded to, like free agency has alluded to this past offseason.
Yeah.
But if it can happen, I'm thinking maybe somewhere right between 17 and 15 is good for him. I think it's very well deserving. Sometimes if you want to keep a really good player, you got to pay what the market is. It's fucked up. The market's too high, but that's just the NFL nowadays. You want to keep players around. You want to keep good players around. You got to pay them the market value.
Right.
So it's just the name of the game. It's how business works now. Otherwise, if they get anything less for him, that's a great team deal. See what happens. It might be months from now. Might not be months from now. Might be a year from now or so. Maybe he's with another team in a year from now. We hope not, but that's why they drafted McCormick. That's why they're lining him up at right guard.
Yeah.
Con allude to that, and here are the signs pointing to them going in that same direction. So we'll see what McCormick's future is, and I'm excited to see what he can do in an actual game lined up at right guard. So,
by the way, I love his jersey number. The fact that he chose number 66.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this is a good time. Might as well show it now because the rookie numbers were official. First of all, Roman Wilson, Zach Frazier, Payton Wilson, Ryan Watts, Logan Lee, and Mason McCormick have all been signed to rookie contracts. I think Fautanu is the only one not to be signed yet. Should happen soon. But Roman Wilson is wearing 10. That is savage. That is aura right there.
Seeing 10 at wide receiver again is always a great sight to see.
That is aura right there.
Always a great resume at wide receiver.
Ryan Watts is wearing 29. As long as he's not Levi, we're good. Payton Wilson at 41.
I don't mind it.
Hey, Spillane made it look good. I think Payton Wilson.
Spillane made it doable. He made it doable.
Yeah. Every time I see 41, man, it's just the font. It's just the look of it on the jersey. Every time I see 41, I get Antoine Blake vibes. I'm sorry.
Listen, I understand, and that man put us through freaking hell and back.
But this guy won't. I know for a fact this guy
Payton
won't.
Wilson's a dog, and it's the player that makes the number, not the number that makes the player.
You're right. Zach Frazier wearing 54. I mean, that was expected. That was his college number. Boom, sits right
That's
there.
That's going to look nice at center.
66 and Mason McCormick. He even noted that he has big shoes to fill because of that number. So he's ready to work. Logan Lee wearing 74 and Fautanu wearing 76. So we got 77 and 76 at the tackle. So
hell yeah, brother.
We got the jersey numbers announced right there. So you guys can look forward to those guys rocking those names and numbers for the next however many years, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be absolutely
at least the next
insane.
4, at the very most.
It's going to look absolutely insane, man. And some of those, man, we could be getting our hands on in a couple short years.
Hope so, man.
Trying to add more to my collection.
I really do.
Trying to add more to my collection. So we'll see. We'll see. Regarding Payton Wilson, keeping on this rookie talk, do you see Payton Wilson starting day one? And I want to ask the chat that as well. Let us know you guys' thoughts in the chat. In fact, I'll put a poll in the chat.
Yeah, put the poll in the chat. Let's make it interactive right here.
Do you see Payton Wilson starting day one? And the reason I ask this is because they obviously have Patrick Queen and they have
they still have
Landon Roberts
and Cole Holcomb. But recently, Brooke Pryor alluded to Holcomb's injury and his recovery time, and pretty much she stated that there's exactly no timetable for his return. It's uncertain, and it's the fact of the matter that it's basically not as simple as an ACL tear.
No, it's not. It's very significant.
There's more damage than initially thought.
It's very significant. It's kind of giving me Connor Williams vibes because he's still a free agent. There's talks he might retire because of the injury.
Yep.
And there's no timetable for his return either.
Yeah.
So Holcomb might be going through a similar situation. It's a nasty injury. And I think all of us as Steelers fans know first and foremost what an ACL injury does to a linebacker or to a player.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen. They're not the same player. It's just it's terrible, man. Injuries absolutely suck. So Holcomb probably won't be back.
Maybe not even if he won't be back early, like week 1 regular season. If he's not ready for early regular season, then maybe if he recovers good enough, maybe he'll be back mid-season, maybe late.
Even then,
at the very latest.
I think at that point he'd be a rotational player because of his injury, because of his recovery, and just trying to ease him back into the game. He'd probably start on the PUP list. Thus, this is a big opportunity for Payton Wilson, why they drafted him at 98. And although he could start day one, I do believe he can be a day one starter. I think he's a day one starter now. But I don't know if the Steelers see that yet because they have Queen and they have Landon Roberts. And Landon Roberts was arguably their best linebacker last year. Maybe they value him and his green dot ability and his experience and his chemistry on the defense
and just
his
his
leadership.
His play style at linebacker too.
He was incredible last year.
Guy was a dog. Guy was a beast.
Yeah, man. So perhaps they see that as keeping Roberts as the starter before putting Payton Wilson as the starter. Maybe they see Payton Wilson starting off as a rotational piece in passing downs because of his speed, his coverage ability, his instincts. Mm-hmm. So maybe they view that, or perhaps they see Payton Wilson as a day one starter and they use Landon Roberts as a rotational piece in rundowns and pass rush scenarios. You know, I think it's a good way to any way they go is a good problem for the linebacker room.
It's a great problem.
But I do believe that Payton Wilson could start day one. My issue is I find it hard seeing him start day one because, well, one, the Steelers typically don't rush their rookies unless they have to. And they have the guys to start at linebacker.
They do.
A part of me wants to see him start day one. I want to see his explosiveness as soon as possible. I'm excited to see this guy, man.
I think all of us do.
I know I keep saying it, but he's the steal of the draft. I want to see this guy's impact. I want to see 41 next to 6 at the linebacker room. It's going to be filthy. I can't wait to see it. I want to see it as early as possible. I think he can start day one.
See, I think it really all depends on where or exactly how much impact he leaves on that practice field.
It also does matter on his injuries. Although he has stated he's healthy, his injuries haven't affected him in years. His knee hasn't affected him in years.
Matter of fact, he called his knee that he does not have an ACL in, he called it his bum knee, quote unquote.
Literally.
So,
Like, he doesn't view it as a problem. The Steelers don't view it as a problem. Khan was on the Pat McAfee show saying how the medical staff cleared him, and if they didn't clear him, they wouldn't have taken him. Well, they took him in 98 because every other team passed on him. However many teams passed on him, 20-something teams saw him as a one-contract player. Well, even if that's the case, guess what? Payton Wilson's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's going to go out on that field, and he's going to rip someone's head off. Every single snap, every single play. So I think Payton Wilson could start day one.
no, I do too. I do too.
He has it all.
And I know you alluded, and we all know Steelers don't exactly rush their rookies, but if he is a standout player because of his athleticism, because of his speed, because of his play style of the linebacker position, because of his size, and even his age, he's 24.
Yeah.
If he really stands out, the Steelers may have no choice but to put him in there, and there's no harm in doing that.
Well, if a player is just so good early on, don't sit him.
Like T.J. Watt.
Yeah,
The guy was into his second year as an outside linebacker.
and started day one
Yeah.
and wrecked havoc immediately.
Instantly.
So if Payton Wilson can have a similar effect, I think we know he can because he was the best linebacker in the draft. Okay, let's be honest. He was the best linebacker in the draft. He dropped because of the injuries. It hasn't affected him in years, and his potential is sky high. It really is. I'm not trying to overhype the guy, but I mean the guy has all the tape pops. It gives you every inkling, every reason to hype him up a lot. Let's be honest. So yeah, I think he could come in early and have a pretty significant impact. And at that point, yeah, you should start him.
Yeah.
Despite Roberts' leadership, despite Roberts' play at the linebacker position, despite what he did last year. I mean, either way they want to run with it. It's a good problem for the linebacker room. It's a good situation.
But I think despite whoever start, because Queen's obviously the number one. We all know that.
Yeah.
Whoever the number two is, they could still do rotation. So it's not really that big of a problem. If Roberts is a starter or Wilson is a starter, they've always been about their inside linebacker rotations.
Sure.
So just get them involved.
Right.
But is Wilson capable of starting day one? Yes, I believe so. I do agree.
I think it's also about trying to find a role for Payton Wilson because he's so versatile, and he had a lot on his shoulders. He had a lot on his plate at NC State because he did everything. Mm-hmm. Everything. So perhaps they're trying to ease him in and find a specific role for him at the linebacker room, at the linebacker position. So maybe that's a reason they don't start him day one. But again, I mean, this guy just pops. This guy is a fierce player. This guy can go out there and make an impact, and then you have no choice but to start him.
Yeah.
And I think that could be I think that could be the situation as long as he stays healthy. So does he start day one? I don't know, but I think he could, and a part of me thinks he should. Granted, we haven't seen anything from him yet. But, in minicamp, he was calling the plays in the huddle for the defense.
Yeah.
I would suppose say green dotting.
Yeah.
So they kind of
That's the term, yeah.
They're viewing that in Payton Wilson pretty early. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of seeing that potential. They're seeing that responsibility in a guy like him pretty early, which is a good sign for a guy like Wilson. As long as he continues to step up to the plate, his medicals pan out, and he performs on the field like we know he can, yeah, I think we got ourselves a great player at 98. Got ourselves a future starter. Day one, I think he could be. A part of me just wants to time machine myself to August so I can see what this guy's going to do. Mm-hmm. I'm so hyped about this guy.
I get it.
I'm serious.
I'm excited for the guy too, man. He's the one guy I'm looking the most forward to with this upcoming season.
Yeah.
When it comes to rookies. I'm excited for him.
Even if he doesn't start day one, we know he's going to see playing time. He'll get his feet wet in special teams. He'll be a rotational guy in passing downs. Maybe we see him and his speed in the pass rush and blitz packages. But this guy's going to play. This guy's going to play no matter what. It's just, are they going to view him as a 1 or 2 down player, or are they going to view him as a 3 down player early on? It does matter on where they want to fit him, how they want to scheme him in their defense, what role they want to have for him, and clearly his medicals.
Yeah.
So that all matters. But with Payton Wilson, I think we all have great feelings about a guy like him. We all have great just viewing on what he can do.
Oh, we're all very excited if I were to speak for Steeler Nation, we're all excited and optimistic about this guy's future with the black and gold.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting, man. So Payton Wilson could start day one. I don't know. But in minicamp, yeah, he was calling the plays for the huddle for the defense. So we'll see. I'm going to be very interested to see how his role increases based on that and that responsibility they already gave him in minicamp. So, I don't know. Again, they don't like to rush him, but, a guy like him fell to their position late in the third round.
And I think kind of alluded on the Pat McAfee show, they had him ranked very high on the draft board, too.
Of course they did.
So,
Well, there were just other positions they had to draft. And at that point, hey, we got this guy for Kenny, or we got this pick for Kenny. He's still there. Might as well.
Yeah. A doctor said he's good to go, so it's like, let's snag him. Let's get him.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Can't pass up on that.
No, you can't, man.
It's like another Darnell Washington moment, Best player available. Guy fell that far for injury reasons, supposedly. And it's like, you can't pass up on that.
Yeah.
Teams let this guy fall, and we're like, we're going to steal him.
Exactly.
It's just how it is.
It's incredible.
It's just how it is.
Yeah, I can't wait to see, cannot wait to see Payton Wilson in black and gold, man. That's for sure. Another guy I can't wait to see this year is year 3 George Pickens. There is a very interesting video out there on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. There's a very interesting video out there from the Route God that showcases that George Pickens has been working with the Route God. Now, the Route God may sound familiar because Deontay Johnson has worked with this guy for years, and clearly Deontay Johnson is highly regarded as one of the best route runners in the entire NFL. So you got a guy like George Pickens working with this guy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you already saw the type of, we already know the type of player Pickens is. We all saw the type of dynamic player, receiver he can be when he has a quarterback throwing to him.
Yeah.
And now that he's working with the route guard, he's trying to polish up his route running ability a little bit more with his size, his physical play style, his acrobatic just abilities at wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah, it does excite us. It does make us look even more forward to George Pickens as number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, and
now.
I'm gonna put a video up here on the screen here, man. This is where's it at? There we go. This is George Pickens working with the route god. Like this, if this doesn't get you excited, man, I mean, I think you need to check your pulse, check your heartbeat, because we all know the guy that George Pickens is. We all know he is a big playmaker. We know he is a big play machine. My God, look at this. This is getting me excited, man.
Well, you know what stands out about that video just as much as how quick he is with the route running off the line of scrimmage? Look how big he's gotten.
Yeah.
He looks huge.
Dude, year 3 Pickens is going to be fucking
He looks
fire.
ripped. He looks shredded.
Year 3 Pickens is going to be fucking fire, dude. We already know the guy he is, man. The dominance, the strength he has. Just a big playmaker he is, like I stated. Now, there are questions and concerns among a lot of people. Oh, he can't create separation. He can't. His route running's inconsistent. He can't create separation from defenders. He's always doing 50-50 balls. He's always doing contested catches. There's no distance away from defenders, when in reality, there is. There are inconsistency concerns, and that's been the case since his Georgia days. But now that in year 3, knowing he's going to be the wide receiver 1, which, in my opinion, he's already been the past 2 years, but officially, he's now the wide receiver 1. He's in year 3. Like you stated, he looks jacked. He looks bigger. And he was already big to begin with.
Yeah.
Now he's going to get the route running down. If he gets that route running down and he creates separation even more consistently, dude, we got ourselves
dude, watch out, man.
We got
watch
ourselves
out.
a ball. We got ourselves a deadly wide receiver, man.
A legit dog. Legit bulldog.
You got a guy that's going to look dead in the eye of the defender right across from a man-to-man coverage.
It shows
it's over. It's over before the snaps even.
And that video right there by the route guy, that shows that Pickens is not settling for where he is already.
No.
He's going to his third year. He knows that he needs to work. He knows he needs to prove himself. He knows he needs to get better. He's trying to work on one of the things that he has to work on, which is the route running and the separation, and he's getting right to it right away. Yeah. He's not playing around.
That's all he's got to. We all know what he already is good at.
You want to be the best, you got to work to be the best. You got to work on your craft. You got to work on your highs. You got to work on your lows. And you got to be consistent at it.
That's all he's got to do is work on the route running and the separation consistently. Once he gets that down, dude, we got ourselves a deadly wide receiver. And we've already stated, I think a lot of us have already stated, that if this guy had better quarterback play, a proper NFL system, this guy would be already skyrocketing the stat boards. He had 1,000 yards last year with 3 quarterbacks and certain games that include him losing yardage and not gaining any yardage. And he still had 1,000 fucking yards.
Dude, if it was not for Mason Rudolph as a quarterback, he would not have hit 1,000 yards. It's because Mason had nothing to lose, and he could throw the freaking football.
Now that we got a quarterback that can do the same,
yes,
and Pickens in his 3rd year who is hungry, who's wide receiver 1, and quite frankly, right now, the only wide receiver we got, we might be looking at 1,300, 1,400 maybe. I don't know. It's going to be crazy, man. George Pickens is going to go off in year 3.
Yeah.
The fact that he's working with the route god, thanks to the Deontay Johnson connection, dude, I'm amped about George Pickens in year 3.
Yeah. You know, I want to give a shout out.
It's over.
I want to give a shout out to Berg's Productions. I seen a short that he put up a couple days ago. I believe it was Sauce Gardner of the Jets. I think it was on the Pivot podcast, and I think it was Fred Taylor asked him, name me your 5 wide receivers in the NFL.
Uh-huh.
And Sauce said nobody in particular order. He put down like Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, he put Stephon Diggs as an honorable mention. But he said, you know, the one guy that I really do like, though, is George Pickens.
Yeah.
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 So, and that's Sauce Gardner right there, bro. So,
yeah.
yeah. And Sauce Gardner's been going up against some of the best already in 2 years. And he's going to continue to do so.
Dude, George Pickens had 1,140 yards last year. Deontay didn't have 1,000 in what, 2 years? 2-3 years? When was his last 1,000-yard season? Was it Ben's second to last year? Or Ben's last year? I forget.
Was it 2020?
Nah, you're going to make me search it up.
Was it 2020?
I don't know the stats off the top of my head. I'm not a stat wizard like I used to be years ago.
I usually don't care about the stats
2021,
anymore.
excuse me.
2021, okay.
Yeah, he hasn't had 1,000 yards in 2 years. George Pickens had 1,000 yards in his second year.
Yeah.
And that's with games that include him losing 1 yard versus the Titans and having 0 catches and a few. Not getting any targets.
Yeah.
With 3 quarterbacks in the worst offensive scheme I think any of us have ever seen in our lives. Man, oh, dude, it's all. I'm telling you, man, it's over. Once Pickens gets that down, we got ourselves definitely, like Gardner said, a top 5 wide receiver. Mm-hmm. This guy is so. I swear, dude. Last year, if he was with any other team, any other quarterback, I swear to God, this guy would have had bigger stats. Mm-hmm. I'm not joking. He would have been elite elsewhere. And now he's going to be elite with the Steelers, man. I have a great feeling about it. My God.
Yeah, we don't.
Like, you pair him with a guy like Cousins or even like a Trevor Lawrence last year, right? Or like a Josh Allen or any decent quarterback out in the NFL now, right? Pickens is putting up monster stats.
Hell, you could say Justin Fields. Justin Fields was throwing to DJ Moore last year.
And DJ Moore had
1,000
yards.
Like, I mean, like, Justin Fields is like a good enough explanation, example.
You know
I
what?
should
You know
say.
what's funny? You said put him with Justin Fields.
Well,
we
yeah,
are.
no shit. I know.
We are.
I know. That's the future. That's the plan. That's the plan.
Oh God. Oh man, it's over.
Isn't it crazy how that works?
I love it.
Isn't it crazy how that works? Only one man can pull it off.
Oh man, I'm loving it. Dude, it's getting me excited ear to ear. I swear to God.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's George Pickens, man, working with the route god. I know you guys are excited about that. We all should be, dude. That's huge. That is huge. That he's working with the route god. Dude, Pickens, man, this year I think we all feel excited. Speaking of the wide receiver room, the Steelers did make another signing at the wide receiver room. Nothing groundbreaking. Nothing crazy.
No, nothing like the other wide receivers that's been picked up in free agency.
And particularly, I don't think he makes the roster. He could. He's going to compete, but I don't think he will. Could be wrong. The Steelers signed Scotty Miller. And if I'm being 1,000% honest with you, call me a casual if you want. I didn't know this guy was even playing last year. I didn't know he was a Falcon. I thought he had a year off. No, he was a Falcon last year with Arthur Smith. The Arthur Smith connection strikes again for like the 4th time.
Yeah, he is now the 4th player that the Steelers have signed with the Arthur Smith connection. That's Cordero Patterson, that's Michael Pruitt, that's Van Jefferson, and now that's Scotty Miller.
Yeah, and Van Jefferson and Scotty Miller were with the Falcons last year in the wide receiver.
It's all debt pieces.
And they both saw Little production. Scotty Miller had 2 touchdowns, not even 100, barely 160 yards.
I don't recall seeing one touchdown highlight from him last year.
I didn't know he was playing. I swear to God. But the Steelers signed him. And he's a depth piece. He's a camp body. He'll get a shot to earn a roster spot. He has the Arthur Smith connection clearly, and he has incredible speed. He brings more speed to wide receiver room, which was never a bad thing. So we got Calvin Austin as a speedster. We got Quez Watkins as a speedster. And now Scotty Miller as a speedster, along with Roman Wilson, who's also a speedster. So we got speed at the wide receiver room, man, which is good. It's a great thing. Is that as much as Scotty Miller's going to offer? I don't know. He was Tom Brady's, like, personal favorite toy
in 2020, yeah.
for that year that the Bucs won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Brady's last Super Bowl
Yeah,
run.
but since then, Miller has
Done nothing.
No, he's been quiet. He's been nothing more than barely a wide receiver 4, more so a receiver 5 or 6.
He had over 500 yards in 2020 for the Bucs. He has barely eclipsed over 400 combined yards his last 3 years.
Yeah.
So, again, this is just another wide receiver the Steelers have added that has had very low production in the last number of years.
But, hey, he's got that Arthur Smith connection.
It's not much, but it's honest work. Wow. You might as well call us the Pittsburgh Smiths.
Yeah, fuck the Steelers.
Or
Fuck
the Pittsburgh,
Steelers.
yeah, fuck the Pittsburgh Wilsons as well. It's the Pittsburgh Smiths.
Yeah.
If you got a connection to Arthur Smith, odds are you're going to be a Steeler. DeMarco Murray, hey, you want to come back? I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding, man.
No.
I remember at the start of the offseason, we all feared Ryan Tannehill was coming to the Steelers. That didn't happen, thankfully. But
No, that's not going to happen.
no.
Thank God.
But in other ways, Smith did bring his influence to the team, and it's
yeah, everybody that Steelers have signed, they're depth guys. The best guy is Cordero Patterson, obviously.
he's gonna be a kick returner.
Yeah. Maybe even an extra handy target, so to speak. We'll see.
Perhaps.
But everybody else, Pruitt, Jefferson, Miller, they're just depth guys. They're guys that are going to compete. They're going to be camp bodies. We're going to see if they can stand out enough to earn a roster spot.
Scotty
But
Miller.
when it comes to wide receiver, though, like, I feel the Steelers got to do more.
Well, I agree, but I don't want to say they can't at the moment because they can't just make a move like that.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's not that simple.
I know it's not that simple. I know that's not going to happen. But I didn't expect a depth piece. I didn't expect a depth signing like this. You know what I mean?
It's just a camp body.
Okay, but how many other camp bodies do we need? That's what I'm saying. Like, we got freaking Calvin Austin. We got Van Jefferson. We got Quez Watkins. We got Marquise Callaway. We got Denzel Mims. We got Des Fitzpatrick. How many more do you need? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. No, I agree.
I'm just saying, like, when it came to this, I didn't expect this type of signing. Like,
You expected more.
a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
But who? Let me ask you. Who? Genuine fucking question. So where's your who?
More so at wide receiver, too.
Who?
Anybody that was a free agent at the time that are now gone. When you look at the wide receiver market at the moment,
Before
there's
we
nobody.
signed Scotty Miller, they're all gone.
No,
Michael
they
Gallup
weren't. There
was-
were still people.
Who?
There were still guys. Zay Jones. What was wrong with Zay? What was wrong with Zay Jones as a number 2?
2.
What's wrong with him as a number 2? He played number 2. He's a solid 2.
He had to because
He's a solid 2.
nah.
I mean, who are you going to pick? Scotty Miller because he knows Arthur Smith, or Zay Jones because he can fill that number 2 position?
Scotty Miller because Roman Wilson's the number 2. That's why.
Okay, but here's this. So we got George Pickens and Roman Wilson as 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Correct, right? Who's the wide receiver 3?
Calvin Austin.
Are you kidding me?
We don't run 11 personnel a lot with Arthur Smith.
but listen. Calvin Austin is not wide receiver 3. Van Jefferson is not a wide receiver 3.
Okay, I disagree.
Quez Watkins is not a wide receiver 3.
I disagree that Calvin Austin isn't a wide receiver.
What are you
3.
talking about?
I think he can be.
I need to see more.
I agree.
I need to see more in order to say that.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with that statement, but I think he was held down by the scheme last year.
I don't entirely disagree.
Listen, if we're going to hype up Sauce Gardner's talk about George Pickens, we might as well bring up the fact that he said that Calvin Austin was his toughest wide receiver that he guarded back in
Yes, that's
college.
true. That's true.
And I'm not trying to back up on something he said 2-3 years ago, but that it does bring some significance. Calvin Austin was fully healthy last year. He was essentially the 4 because Robinson was the 3. Didn't see production. But I think Calvin Austin's speed can still be very well used. I think his route running is underrated. He's slim. He's a cinnamon stick from Apple Jacks. You might as well call him Slim Jim at this point.
Sure.
But I do think he can play the 3. But he's not going to see a lot of wide receiver 3 role because we don't run a lot of 11 personnel unless Arthur Smith wants to open his playbook.
He could do that. I would need to see more from Calvin Austin in order to have my full-fledged faith in him as the wide receiver 3. Because here's this, knock on wood, if anything were to go down, if Pickens or Wilson were to go down, then you're going with Austin as a number 2. Austin's not a number 2. And then you got Jefferson. Then you got Jefferson have to play number 3. He's not a number 3. The guy's barely even a number 4.
That I agree with.
These guys are wide receiver 4 or 5s. We're going to settle with them as wide receiver 3 or even emergency number 2.
Well, since we're on the wide receiver topic.
That's my worry. That's what I'm saying here. That's my worry.
But this is where I'm going to come in and say that's when the Steelers make a trade. The Steelers, I do believe, I don't know when, but I do believe that the Steelers are going to make a trade for a wide receiver. I think it's a necessity at this point.
It is.
Because the names are so dreadful. The names are so bone-bearing, bone-dry at this point at wide receiver, right? I think they're going to clearly believe in Pickens at 1. I think we all agree. And they're going to view Roman Wilson as the 2 for now, as a Tyler Lockett type guy for Wilson, as a guy that can work as an outside threat because of his route running, because of his incredible catching ability. His hands are very, very strong.
Yes, they are. He hardly drops the ball.
His toughness at the wide receiver position. They're going to value that as the 2. If an injury happens, knock on wood, or the production just isn't there as much as they want, then that's when they make a move.
So what you're saying is you think they do that while in season or by mid-season?
Correct. Unless they don't see enough in training camp and they do it before the regular season starts.
See, that is what I can see. I can see the Steelers giving these guys the chance, giving these guys the opportunity, because all it takes is one. It's one opportunity for you to showcase your potential, showcase how much you really want this, and then if you earn it, you showcase it enough, then the Steelers are going to go with you.
Okay.
If they don't, then yes, they have to make the move.
And that's what I think. They've made calls. There's been reports they have made calls to teams like Seattle, to Denver, to the Niners. Some of them have shut them down. The other teams have not been released yet, but clearly they're going big.
Yeah. Well, the Niners and Broncos, they were rebuffed almost immediately.
That's what I'm saying. Like those were the teams that shut them down. Seattle can't do it until after June 1st because of the massive dead cap effect.
Yeah.
For a guy like DK. Or even a Lockett, but more so DK because Lockett's up there in age.
Mm-hmm. Plus, they just extended Lockett.
Yeah. But even still, they're trying to go big, but they're not going to make the move just to make the move. They're going to see the value, the impact with a guy like Roman. Oh, this is my feeling. They're going to see the value and the impact with a guy like Roman Wilson first as the wide receiver 2, and there's no problem with that. I think he can.
I'm not saying there is. I'm not saying there is.
I think he can be the 2. But let's say come training camp or come preseason, that they just don't see enough yet. That's when those trade talks have already happened for months on end. That they were like, hey, we need to make a move now. We'll give you this and that. That's why when Khan says they make a move when it makes sense, that's what he's talking about.
Right.
He doesn't do it just to do it, just to boost the team, just to get the fans rallied, just to get the con artist, the King Khan talks going around social media, which I'm sure he loves.
He's heard
He doesn't do it just for personal satisfaction. He does it when it makes sense. That would make sense when there just isn't enough production, there just isn't enough dependability there. Now, if you're talking like depth, like a trade for a depth piece, then yeah, I agree.
No, that'd be awful. And our depth's already bad. The depth I see on this wide receiver class, the names I stated, I as of now, I don't trust them.
Well then,
as of now, I'm not confident in them as a depth.
Well then, maybe we should settle down our beliefs that they trade for a big wide receiver. They maybe trade for perhaps just a depth piece.
But would the Steelers want to settle for that?
That is if Roman Wilson's the 2. And they don't see enough value, enough trust in their depth guys. They don't see enough in Austin. They don't see enough in Watkins. They don't see enough in Scotty Miller. They don't see enough in Jefferson. That's when they trade for a depth guy. I'm sure it'd leave a lot of us disappointed because, hey, we wanted Ayuk, we wanted DK, we wanted Scary Terry, we wanted God knows who else, right?
Yeah.
And instead we get, I don't know.
What's his name?
Darius Slayton. We get, I don't know.
Well, hold on, wait. Are you saying Slayton is a depth guy? Is a depth piece?
Could be.
I don't know about that one.
You don't think there's...
He's not a number one. He's not a number one. He had to play number one for New York, although he wasn't. He's not a number one. As a number two, I think that fits him fine.
I don't disagree.
I think he's a fine number two when it comes to his size, his outside playability, his speed, most importantly, and that deep threat ability.
I don't disagree.
I think that works as a fine number two.
But what I'm saying is they would view Roman Wilson as the two, so Slayton would be the depth piece. I think Slayton could be a decent number two.
In that case,
the production shows it.
In that case, because I believe he's into his final year of his contract extension he signed, just a year ago with the Giants?
Correct.
I heard he's looking for a new contract. He's looking for a contract extension. With the people that the Giants have drafted and signed in free agency this offseason, I mean, like, Slayton's probably
odd man out. Yeah, they're
so
clearly
he
looking
might
for
get
life
traded.
after. Yeah, they're looking for life after him.
He might be looking to get traded.
So that's a good trade partner if the Steelers want to improve either the two position, which isn't the most mind-blowing, but I think he would be a decent two, or perhaps just great depth. Because
if he were to be the guy behind Wilson, I mean, that's fine by me too.
Because 53 career starts, he has the production to show, like, hey, he can be the two. He has better production than any of the guys we've brought in thus far.
Yeah. Again, he had to play the number one, although he's not a number one. But as a number two, I mean, the numbers he's put up, I mean, they're pretty serviceable for a number two.
Yeah.
It's what you would kind of want to look for a number two. So Slayton wouldn't be a bad option. If Wilson were to stand out as the number two, but you bring him in as that backup, that's still not a bad option because that does increase the depth of wide receiver.
Yeah,
and you got another hand for Russell Wilson.
And it wouldn't cost a lot because clearly he's in the last year of his contract. They're not going to give him a lot for him.
No.
Odds are Giants are going to walk away from him.
The Giants ain't going to ask for big cap for Darius Slayton.
We'll give you a 6 next year for him.
Yeah, what they do?
A 7th next year. I don't know.
You want Dan Moore too? By all means.
Hold on. If we trade Dan Moore for Darius Slayton, we better get something more out of that.
Well, yeah, sure, but
I'm talking like an extra 4th or 5th.
I'm just saying.
But yeah.
Slayton wouldn't be a bad trade option.
He wouldn't be my ideal number 2.
I'm not saying he'd be my first choice.
But if we're looking at like improving the depth, yeah, that's a guy I look at.
Yeah.
I look after. At least until someone else improves. That is if a guy like Calvin Austin doesn't show wide receiver 3 tendencies. I think he still can because I think he was handcuffed. I think we can use his speed. I think he's a solid receiver. I think he's a shifty little playmaker. I think he can be a nice weapon for this team. Like, we need to use him. We need to use his speed.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying I need to see a little bit more from Austin.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree. But I think he hasn't been able to given the time to do that.
Well, then this is the time to do it.
You're right. Correct. Another guy I want to throw out there at being like a weapon or good depth or even a slot option, just a dependable target. And I've said this for a while now. I said this the last time we were live. Connor Hayward. I want to see more from him.
Why not?
I want to see the Steelers use him more. He had a great rookie year.
Because look at the tight ends we got. Muth, obviously, Washington, we got Hayward, and they signed Michael Pruitt. I don't know about you guys, but I have this gut feeling that Pruitt might make the team. Not because he knows Arthur Smith, because he's been with Smith pretty much the entirety of his NFL career.
Well, he's a great blocker.
But because Pruitt can actually play football. He's actually a very solid depth player.
He's a great blocker, and then that would force Connor Hayward to play fullback, which
they can move Hayward around then.
I know this is a foreign language to you guys, but we could be getting back to I form, which means we need a fullback.
What's that?
Huh?
I-form.
A fullback?
No, I-form. What's that?
So I don't know. I haven't seen it in a
what's
long
that?
time. I-form. I don't know. The Steelers haven't run it in years. Matt Cannon never used it.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. He never used it. Matter of fact,
damn, that bald son of a
I'm
bitch.
just saying, Arthur Smith loves the I form. You know, if you're gonna run heavy scheme, you better have I form in your playbook. He likes the use of a fullback. Connor Hayward has fullback experience from his Michigan State days. There you go. There's your fullback. But I don't think he can be strictly a fullback. He's a hybrid. You want to use him as a weapon. You want to use him as a receiving threat. I think the guy has the hands to do it. In his rookie year, when he was making acrobatic catches versus the Browns, he was making that big play versus the Bucks. I think we can use that. He probably won't because of how many names are ahead of him, but I think we could use it. I think we should use him. And Smith will, because he's going to need a fullback.
Yeah.
Who else is the fullback? Unless he puts Pruitt there. But Pruitt's primarily a tight end.
He is.
You could line your tight ends up at the fullback position. They play similar roles, but perhaps with Hayward as the blocker and his running back experience and his vision.
Yeah, Hayward.
And his prior years as a tight end in the blocking aspect.
Hayward is the more ideal fullback on the team.
It just makes sense.
You can line him at fullback, be the extra blocker. If you want to line him up at tight end, he's got that flexibility. If you want to even line him up at wide receiver, the guy's more than capable of doing it too. He's shown it a handful of times at Michigan State.
Yeah.
Connor Hayward is a Swiss Army knife. Connor Hayward can play football. He's a football player. The man's got Hayward. He's a Hayward. He's got football in his veins.
Yeah, he's got the bloodlines. I mean, come on. He's a Hayward. We all know what they play.
The guy can play.
Right.
So give him the opportunity, give him a chance, and just let him go out there and run with it.
Yeah.
Give him the opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see more Hayward. Just like a guy like Calvin Austin. I want to see more from him. And when I say I want to see more, I want to see the Steelers use them more. Clearly, they got to provide for the team, but I want to see the Steelers use these weapons more. I'm hoping that's what Smith is going to bring back to this offense, is that creativity, the ability to use these weapons that didn't have the time to shine, that didn't have the ability to express their talents. Because Matt Canada was such a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to use I-form, because he didn't want to utilize Calvin Austin's speed if it didn't require a jet sweep. Because he didn't run these guys' routes anywhere past 15 yards, or he didn't use the middle of the field whatsoever.
Or just made him do the same damn shit 3 times in a row.
I'm getting PTSD just thinking about it.
I know.
No, seriously. That's why I want to see more from these guys. And perhaps that's what the Steelers are doing. They're trusting their roster. Like I said, Omar Khan doesn't say things just to say things. During the draft week, during their draft press conference that they were doing, him and Tomlin, he said that he likes the current landscape of the team. He likes where everything's at. He likes the current position of the roster. He likes who they have and where they stand and anywhere they sit as a roster now.
Yeah.
Pretty much, he doesn't see a lot that needs to be improved outside of the draft, in which he improved a lot. So right now, he's trusting the roster. So thus, he's hoping that the coaching staff will utilize these guys on the football field. He's trusting the roster that we have.
Now, I do hope the coaching staff can figure out how to use them.
Right.
And I want to let this be known, when it comes to the wide receiver depth and the names that we got at the moment, I will give them the opportunity. I will be looking forward to see what they can do. You know, I do hope that they do stand out. They showcase their veteran experience and that they can showcase that they can be capable depth. I just do worry about,
The lack of experience or the lack of production.
Especially that production. The lack of production from all of them recently, I mean, it doesn't warrant them to be that wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3.
See, I feel a certain way about that with Calvin Austin, although I argue he wasn't used properly. I do feel that exact way with a guy like Scotty Miller or Van Jefferson or Quez Watkins.
Yeah, the wide receiver depth, yeah.
They didn't do anything. They haven't done anything in years. I'm not relying on Scotty Miller having that touchdown versus the Packers in the NFC Championship game 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not relying on Van Jefferson having however many yards when the Rams won the Super Bowl how many years ago.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what they did recently, what they did now, what they did last year,
And
which was nothing.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm trying to get by.
No, I agree. I'm just throwing out the Steelers probably trust their roster, and they probably believe in Roman Wilson as the 2, so they're going to give him the opportunity. And they're going to see what their roster currently has now, and if they have to, they're going to make a move.
Yeah, and I do agree with that approach. I do see that happening. I agree with what you stated. I do agree that I think they go that approach.
Yeah,
and we'll see what happens.
That's just my gut feeling.
If guys stand out, then hey, good. Good. It worked out.
If not, then they're going to make a move. How big, how little that move is we'll see if it ever becomes a reality. But that's just kind of my gut feeling, especially regarding the wide receiver position, because it's still a big need. Another signing the Steelers made, which was today, was Anthony Averett, a former 4th rounder for the Baltimore Ravens back in 2018, I believe.
Yeah.
So, he has that AFC North rivalry background to him. He most recently played with the Lions and the Niners. Didn't see much from them.
He's more so a preseason camp body, really. Plus, he's just been dealing with injuries left and right. ever since he came into the NFL, really, even when he was a Raven.
Yeah. In fact, what I keep hearing from a lot of Ravens fans is he was a quote-unquote Ravens legend in 2021, where he had 3 interceptions, which is the only 3 interceptions he ever had in his career.
Yeah.
So that's all he's had. He had a very good year in 2021, and injuries have kept him from doing anything anywhere else.
Yeah.
But the Steelers brought him in to minicamp to give him an opportunity. He shined well enough that they gave him a contract. He's a camp body. He's going to be given the opportunity to try to compete for outside corner depth. Maybe he sees some slot time. He's seen very little, but he could play that. He could see some time there. Otherwise, I see him potentially making the roster as outside corner depth. He has the experience. He has the capability as long as the medicals pan out.
Right.
He'll work with a guy like Corey Trice or Darius Rush or Ryan Watts or Beanie Bishop in that role. Mm-hmm. So that's good for him. Good for him. He's going to get that opportunity. We'll see if he shines in camp and preseason.
Yeah.
If he does, hey, that's what minicamp is all about for some of these guys. They get that opportunity, they get a contract, and then they're going to make the roster if they can. So that's all it really much for Anthony Averett. But I'm looking forward to it, because the corner room is still a little concerning. We don't know if another move is going to be made there, very much like wide receiver, but they're still adding bodies.
I don't think they stop. There's no reason to stop.
No, I don't think so either. But I think they're going to trust their guys, especially like at the slot corner role, because that's still a big question mark.
Yeah.
That's where Averett could see time. They might put Darius Rush there because of his height and his speed and his playing time a little bit last year.
Yeah.
Or they could be putting an undrafted free agent, Benny Bishop, there, he's a prototypical slot threat, a slot corner.
Yeah.
So maybe they view him there. In fact, Beanie Bishop was another rookie that impressed during rookie minicamp. And in fact, I'll say this: I'm not trying to overhype too much, but one thing I did state immediately after the draft is we could be looking at 5 future starters with the first 5 picks of this past draft class come 2025, right? Perhaps if Beanie Bishop impresses enough, we could be looking at 5 come this season. We could be looking at 6 in future years. Think about it.
Maybe.
I'm not trying to overhype it, but there is always that possibility. The Steelers have so much belief and trust in these guys that it could happen. Can you imagine that? 5 to 6 starters in one class, one of them being undrafted? Now I see why people say this is comparison to 74 draft class, which that's never going to happen again. But the talent and the value and the experience factor.
Well, yeah, 50 years later, I mean, like,
it's written in the stars. It's meant to be.
Yeah, you can't even write it in the books, bro.
It's meant to be, man.
But no, Beanie Bishop is somebody that I am very excited to look forward to for OTAs, training camp, preseason. Prototypical slot guy, was very good in West Virginia. For some reason went undrafted. I thought he was going to be taken within 6th or 7th round.
But he went undrafted, and that's mostly because he was tossing around schools, and he only had one true good year of production in West Virginia, which I think he led all of college with pass breakups, had multiple interceptions.
Oh, like he was very, like, wherever the ball was, he was right there with it. Like, he was very quick to the ball, very quick to the targeted wide receiver, very good tackler as well, especially in the run defense.
Yes.
He can be an occasional blitzer as well. Again, prototypical slot cornerback.
Yeah, 24 passes defended, 20 pass breakups.
Yeah.
He ranked 2nd in the FSB with 17 forced incompletions and 4 interceptions.
It's impressive.
Prior to that, he spent his first 4 years at Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
Impressive. And Beanie Bishop has said, he loves to tackle. He doesn't shy away from it. He doesn't scare from it. That's an iffy part about a guy of his size and his play style is, guys like him are just, good around the football. They're good with the ball in the air. They're good at tracking the ball in the air and getting a hand on it no matter what. The concern is, their level of play in the ground game, in the tackling, and getting behind the line of scrimmage or just wrapping down the ball carrier. This guy emphasizes that. This guy loves it, especially for a guy his size. He's not the biggest guy. He might be considered a little undersized, but he loves tackling. In fact, he embraces it, which is what you want for a slot guy. So, I mean, we could be seeing a guy like Beanie Bishop get a big opportunity, a big role at slot corner. Yeah. I'd say he's a heavy favorite. I mean, who else are they going to put there?
Oh, yeah.
Casey?
Name me another guy.
Casey, Rush.
Eh.
That's it. How many snaps did Rush have as a slot guy?
I'm not entirely sure. The man saw maybe 2 games at most, if I remember. Then he was a healthy scratch the majority of the way. But
let me get here.
Casey, I know he has that experience. He's that defensive back. He can play both corner and safety. If they want to use him, they could. I think in the slot could be favorable for him.
He had he played 2 games. One of them being the Titans game on Thursday night, where he almost had an interception.
Yeah, he did drop it.
He dropped it, but he had an interception.
Almost.
Oh yeah, he almost right. But he had 18 slot reps in that game.
How many outside?
1.
Okay then. Damn.
18 slot. It's not a lot. In fact, he only had 20 slot reps last year because he was almost in every game. He was pretty much in every game inactive. He saw 2 games. So,
but you kind of
20 career slot snaps for a guy like Darius Rush isn't so much to get emphasis about, but you see where the Steelers view him at. So he's going to get that opportunity as a slot guy. So if you're thinking, where is Darius Rush going to play with his speed and his size? Well, they saw him as a slot weapon last year, so they're going to bring him a year under his belt, experienced in Terrell Austin's defense. Mm-hmm. They're going to line him there. They're going to pair him with probably Averett, Beanie Bishop, maybe Casey as the slot guys.
Yeah, they're definitely going to give Rush that opportunity, that attempt for sure. They picked him up off waivers last year when he was a 5th-round selection out of the Colts, and they got rid of him, and then he was signed to the Chiefs practice squad, and then we just signed him off the practice squad. He's been with us since.
Yeah, he's going to get an opportunity. I think he's going to make the roster. It's just a matter of what his role is going to be. He's definitely going to be a special teams gunner, but if he can step up and play the slot role, it's possible. But I think a guy like Beanie Bishop's going to have that chip on his shoulder being undrafted and getting a big undrafted rookie contract.
Well, the guy's already motivated because he mentioned that he told a teacher he had at one point when he told her what he wanted to be, what his profession wanted to be. He wanted to be a professional football player.
Right.
The teacher pretty much said, get a real job. It's not possible. He basically said that's replayed in his head over and over anytime he's on that field.
Yo, fuck that teacher. Fuck that teacher.
So the guy's already motivated to prove that teacher wrong, to prove the doubters wrong.
Yeah, and this was what stated on the Steelers.com website. The article's made by what's her name? It was Teresa Varley. Teresa Varley, who's a common writer for Steelers.com. She wrote this about Beanie Bishop, if I can find it. I just had it. 1 second, let me find it. There it is. It says, West Virginia cornerback Beanie Bishop Jr. signed with the Steelers as an undrafted free agent and is ready to show the coaches why he belongs in the black and gold. And I quote, I am a physical guy. I love to impose my will on guys, said Bishop. I just want to show my ability to play and that I am different from everybody else. I want to show that I can contribute to helping the team win ball games this year. I am physical. I have that mentality. Not a lot of guys like to tackle. Guys like to cover. I'm a physical guy. I like to tackle. I like to impose my will on guys. This is how I am different. A lot of defensive backs want to be cover guys. I am a guy who likes to be physical and get in on tackles, even if it's not my play to make. I like the physical aspect of it.
Well, there you go.
Speaking my language, buddy.
Well, there you go.
Welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's get to fucking work, buddy. Yeah, buddy. That's what I like to hear. So, there you go. This guy doesn't shy away from the tackling. Now, again, he might be considered a little undersized for it, but that didn't stop a guy like Mike Hilton.
No, it
didn't. That
didn't
didn't stop however many guys in the NFL. I know size is a big concern, but it all matters of what the player brings to the table. It all matters of how they adjust to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I know he also has return ability. He had a big punt return last year, I believe, a couple of them, I think. I doubt he's going to see a role there because we already have our special teams aces. We have Cordell Patterson as the kick returner. We have Kevin Austin as the punt returner. Tomlin typically doesn't like putting defensive backs as kick returners.
They sure like putting Desmond King back there last year.
He had to because, what's his name?
Gunner. Yeah, I know. He was terrible. Who was the one guy you were talking about? Wow, I really unlocked a bad memory, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
That Ravens game, bro.
I forgot he was with us last year.
Until this man saved the day.
I forgot he was with us last year. Yeah, fuck my night.
Who are you alluding to?
No. So what I'm saying is, Tomlin doesn't like having DBs as punt returners or kick returners.
Yeah. That's a known fact.
Return specialists. He did it with Desmond King last year because Gunner sucked, and he took forever to put Calvin Austin back there.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
But he tried that with Cameron Sutton in his rookie year, and I remember him muffing a punt in preseason, and that was the last we ever saw of that.
Yeah. I do remember that now.
So Beanie Bishop I doubt is going to see a role there. So I think he's going to be primarily seen as your slot weapon. Show us what you're made of. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to see what he's going to bring to the table. As for all the slot weapons, if I had to be honest with you, I think it's going to be either probably Beanie Bishop or Darius Russell's going to get it. Maybe they put Casey there, but I think they're going to view him as a 3 safety set piece. They can put him anywhere. They can put any of these safeties anywhere, to be real with you. But I think they're going to view him there.
Would they view Monte Casey as a 3 safety set or Trenton Thompson? Casey or Thompson?
Thompson's the backup.
Yeah, he is.
Thompson's the backup.
He did very good filling in, though. When he
I was impressed.
I was more impressed with him than Casey, though, if I were to be real.
Yeah.
That's why I bring it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with him. The defense will carry this team. We just need competent quarterback play with few mistakes, and we will win in every game. No, I agree. As long as Wilson gets the job, he doesn't have to be the best quarterback in the world because he's not, and he's not going to get back to Super Bowl Russ or Seahawk Russ or Seattle Russ. But
no, those days are behind him.
But he's better than what we had last year. And as long as, like you say, he makes few mistakes like he did last year for Denver, and he does what he did, we got competent quarterback play. We got what we wished for at quarterback. Same thing for Fields if his name's ever called. Otherwise, the defense is going to be relied on heavily again.
Yeah.
But hopefully we have an offense that won't be 3 and out all the time or consistently.
Well, Smith said, we're not going to be stale. I sure as hell hope so.
Better not.
I sure as hell hope so.
You bet not. Bet not.
We had to deal with stale offense for 3 years. It was not
so stale.
It was not fun.
It was so stale. My God. But no, I'm hoping he's very truthful with that statement. He's trying to open his mind up, trying to keep the defenses guessing. I'm really hoping he brings a different aspect to this offense. Him as an OC is going to do him very well, I do believe.
Let me say this. With the amount of talent that was added to the offense, there's no reason to get stale.
No.
There's zero excuse to get stale.
Not when you got a guy like Pickens.
No.
Not when you got Roman Wilson and his speed. Not when you got Calvin Austin and his speed. Not when you got arguably the best running back duo in the entire NFL. Arguably. When you got a complete offensive line.
Yeah.
Come on.
No reason.
No reason whatsoever. No. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that lines up. That's why I just want to fast forward to August. I know we got to wait, and the draft came a lot faster than a lot of us anticipated, so perhaps preseason is going to be the same way, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Steelers have never been relevant, but the Browns, on the other hand. Never been relevant? Jake, what? What are you talking about?
What?
What? Hold on. Do I got it? Yeah, I got it.
Bro, what?
What? Jake, what are you talking about,
please
bro?
Tell me you're joking.
Steelers have never been relevant, but the Browns, on the other hand. Are you sure you didn't mix your words up?
Bro,
Are you sure about that?
Dude, the Browns are...
What are you talking about, man?
The Browns are hoping that this is the breakout year for Deshaun Watson. Shouldn't it have been a breakout year when they first traded for
He
him?
only had a breakout year. In Houston. Those days are behind him.
Yeah, his third year as a Brown. Yeah, this is the breakout year.
It ain't happening.
No, it should have been the breakout year as soon as you freaking traded for him, as soon as he put on that Browns uniform against the Texans. But it wasn't.
No.
It wasn't.
No. In fact, I can't wait to see Deshaun Watson. I can't wait to see Payton Wilson intercept Deshaun Watson. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I'm just getting here, and I'm wondering, are they done at wide receiver, says Mike G. I don't think they are. Perhaps for now, but I do believe a trade's going to happen. I can't tell you when or who, but I got a gut feeling a trade's going to happen. It might not be till mid-season, but I think it could happen. I think it's a very strong possibility still. They're making calls. They're going to keep all this, still on the table. But they might rely on the guys they have now. They might rely on Roman Wilson, and we'll see what they get. If it's not enough, then yeah, we should absolutely anticipate a trade. Or regardless, we still just might get a trade. It might not be as big as we wish it will be, but I mean, you know, Khan's going to do what's best for the team, regardless of wherever it's at. But no, I do not think they're done at wide receiver. But Scotty Miller, I mean, I guess. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, I guess. You know, it's whatever. I guess. Where are we at in the chat? Rob says, Najee situation, interesting. I thought for sure they were going to pick up his option. Kind of get the feeling he wants to move on after this season. I'm glad you brought that up because there was a interesting report. I forget who it was from. It's not really relevant now because it was debunked by Najee's agent, but according to this report, Najee asked the Steelers to decline his fifth-year option.
Yeah, it was a reporter from 93.7 The Fan. He said a little birdie told him that Najee told the Steelers not to exercise his fifth-year option because Najee was looking to play somewhere else next season. As soon as I read that, I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense. And if that's the case, if Najee told the Steelers, hey, listen, Khan, don't take my fifth-year option. I don't want to play here next year. I don't want to be here anymore. You sure? I would imagine the trade would have gone down. I'd imagine.
You don't think why would Najee just say, don't pick on my fifth-year option, just trade? Why? He would just tell Khan, bro, I want traded. If he does not want to.
Why would he want to leave Pittsburgh now?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And why is Najee going to say, no, I don't want a pay raise?
And his agent debunked it, correct?
Yes. He pretty much, he tagged the guy. Said, hey, tell your little birdie his information is incorrect. Not true whatsoever.
That makes no sense. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the situation is still very interesting to us as well, Rob. But I don't know. I don't know why they declined it. It could be for a multitude of reasons. We discussed that last week. Perhaps they want to get a deal done as soon as they can instead of waiting for his fifth-year option or after his fifth-year option since he's going to be up in age.
That's still a huge possibility.
Perhaps they just want to give him the money now while he's still young compared to a couple years later where that's when the decline starts. Maybe they don't want to extend him.
But you also got to look at, because Najee was, if you remember, I think it was last offseason or maybe 2 off seasons ago, some time ago, like a variety of NFL running backs were like banding together on Twitter. I think they actually had like some sort of like group message.
Yeah.
I think somebody said that they were all together talking about the running back market and the money.
What do they call it? Spaces?
And Najee was a part of it.
Was it Spaces?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. So Najee is a part of it. He's very vocal about running backs should get what they deserve. You know, it's one of the more important positions in the NFL, which it is. It's a big part of the game. And
you just don't invest in it. I'm sorry.
No, in today's NFL, that's unfortunately not the case anymore. And no team's going to pay boku bucks for a running back.
No,
nowadays.
not when you can replace it tomorrow. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and Najee is going to want a big payday, I imagine. The man's pretty much earned a fifth-year option. If he earned a fifth-year option, then the man earned a second contract.
He couldn't do anything more to earn that, but they still declined it. So
I like to think that's because they want to extend them right now.
Yeah.
They want to get it out of the way because he's 26. They don't want to wait 2 years down the
So
line.
he's like 27 and 28. Right, it makes sense.
At that point, I mean, like, there's no point in extending a 28-year-old running back. You're not doing that.
No, not at the cost that they would extend him if they extend him now. It's rare, but it could happen. Me personally, as a fan, I want Najee to get extended without overpaying him. Mm-hmm. Give him a nice 2-3 year extension, right? Maybe an opt-out opt-in in his final year of his contract. But that's it. I want to get him one more contract, and then at the end of his contract, then that's when Najee's era is over.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the Jalen Warren era, right? But I think he's deserving of it. I think he earns it. I think he has earned it. Mm-hmm. And I want to see it happen. If it doesn't, I'm not going to be butthurt. I'm not going to be disappointed because it's a running back position. But, yeah, I do find it – a week after, I still find it weird that it's just – what more do you want from him?
Because now we're looking at both Najee and Jalen Warren being upcoming free agents, although Warren's are restricted, so they'll more than likely tender him. So that's not really a huge concern. But tender the guy? It would be the Mike Hilton situation all over again. When he was always a restricted free agent, we always gave him a tender instead of giving him the freaking money that he freaking deserved.
Well, maybe they give him the money this offseason.
And that's what I'm saying. Warren deserves an extended contract. He deserves a big pay raise rather than a tender.
Maybe they do that this year.
Maybe they give Warren a contract and then maybe see what Najee does, and maybe they look to get him a contract next offseason. I don't know. Maybe they extend both. Maybe they want to keep the stud duo together.
I would. It's not slowing down. It's not broken. Don't take it away.
They keep both the running backs together.
Not when the quarterback situation is still a little question mark.
Yeah, because I mean we've seen for years that the running game has been leaned on several times, whether it's Najee, Warren, or both. We've leaned on the run game heavily. Why would the Steelers want to lose that?
No, I'm not losing that.
You do not lose that. It's been the one thing that has gotten us moving somehow. If we didn't have a running game, we have nothing. Just a defense.
Right.
But the defense can only do so much.
Well, I don't fear Warren walking. He's not going to walk.
I'm not saying he is.
I know you're not, but I'm saying I don't fear Warren leaving. He's going to be tendered. He's going to get extended. No doubt. Najee's a question mark, but I know we'll have him this year.
Yeah.
But I want him beyond that just because, I think he deserves it. I want to see it, and I want to keep the duo together. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not butthurt over it. It's as simple as that. Because we have a guy we can lean on in Warren. Mm-hmm. And I do want to say this about the duo. People throw out the question mark, Warren's better. Warren has better yards per carry. And you're not wrong. I don't entirely disagree. I think Warren is a little better than Najee. I think he's better at pass protection. I think he's a better receiver. And he's clearly the most explosive back in the running back room. Najee was never a big runner. He was never the most explosive. Never was that. He was never that guy in Alabama, right? But Warren is. And that gives him a little bit of an edge. And I think his emergence is giving the Steelers a little influence perhaps on his decision.
Maybe.
Maybe not, but maybe. I'll also say this about Warren. I'm not discrediting anything from him, but I think the reason why he has better production and the reason he is the player he is because when Warren's on the field, it was a lot less, what's the word I'm looking for?
Predictable?
A lot less predictable.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Because we always preach 2nd and 10 or 2nd and Najee.
Yeah.
When
Najee was on the field, defenses knew, hey, Najee's on the field, he's getting the football. When Warren was on the field, are they going to pass it? Are they going to run it? We don't know. So teams were a little hesitant on what they were doing with Warren as the running back.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm not taking anything away from him because you can't. He's explosive. He's a great runner. The guy's yards after contact, same thing with Najee. Just a little more burst to him. But I do think, he had a little better production with the same line because teams didn't know what they were doing when Warren was on the field compared to when Najee was on the field. Everyone in their goddamn grandmamas knew that they were going to run the ball with Najee.
Well, in that case, that was the Steelers' fault.
You're right. So what I'm saying is use Najee the same way you use Warren and make us a lot less predictable.
That's just the way it should be.
They both have great versatility. Use Najee the same way you use Warren, and they'll be a lot less predictable.
Yeah, but both guys have shown case that they're more than capable of doing what both guys are capable of.
But even regardless of what happened and what went down with the predictability and whatnot, they were both still great running backs. They still gave us incredible production. They still gave us something to look forward to on the offense. They still gave us touchdowns. They still gave us points on the board. They drained defenses. They drained the clock. They helped us win their last
three
games.
They carried that freaking offense.
So I'm not taking anything away from Warren. I'm just saying a reason why he benefited with a similar line is because Warren is a lot less predictable based on the Steelers' usage of him. He's that change of pace guy. He's a change of pace guy that, truthfully, is a starting running back anywhere else. Warren's a starter anywhere else, let's be honest.
He's proven that time and time.
If Najee, God forbid, knock on wood, goes down, he's your starter and there's no complaint, no concern from nobody. There's not. But if they were to use Najee a similar way they use Warren, yeah, they're a little less predictability when Najee's on the field.
Yeah.
Just get creative. Just when Najee's in there, don't run it all the time because defenses already know that.
Mm-hmm.
Use his receiving threat. Use his receiving ability. Motion him out wide.
Remember his rookie year? Like, he was used as a receiving back more so than he has been the past 2 years.
Yeah. No, wasn't there a game he had like 14 catches in his rookie year?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Now, this is before Jalen Warren came onto the field because in year one, who was his backup?
Benny Snell. But it goes to show the importance of Jalen Warren to Najee as much as Najee to Warren.
Correct.
In today's NFL, you don't need a number one running back. You don't need a full-blown
Bell cow
running back no more.
Workhorse.
There's a couple examples of bell cows like Derrick Henry, although he's getting up there with age in today's NFL, right?
Right.
But nowadays, I mean, it's a running back tandem. It's a duo that you need to go with.
Look at this.
And it just makes the offense better, makes the running game better, makes the offense much more less predictable. It just aids both guys. It actually aids the running back position, in my opinion.
It does, no, because it's extended Najee's career.
I would say it extended Warren's career because the guy had as much mileage coming out of college too, and he played in 3 different college schools.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
But yeah, let's look at this.
Because I'm looking at the receiving stats with these running backs. Okay, Najee had 74 receptions in his rookie year. 74. His last 2 years, he has had 41 and 29 respectfully in 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
He had 74 in his rookie year. His last 2 years combined, 41 receptions in 2022 and 29 receptions in 2023. Those are a combined 70. They have lessened his versatility. I don't know why. That's why Najee is so predictable. That's why when teams come onto the field and they see Najee in the backfield, we know he's going to get fucking flattened by no gain or 1 yardage of a gain, right? Which is why everyone says, oh, Najee only has barely 4 yards per carry because teams know what's going on.
But even in that case with Najee, although he's more predictable than Warren is,
he's still putting up 1,000 yards in 3 years.
And Warren's taking some of that load. I mean, like his carries have decreased because of Warren's emergence, and he's still producing more yards per carry since his rookie year.
Yeah,
the guy's still getting 1,000 yards on lesser carries year by year.
Yeah, he had 4.1 yard average last year.
I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah.
Even with the predictability of him in there, like if teams know, and Najee can still find a way to go up the field and get yards and gain stats and gain touchdowns.
And Warren in his entire career is averaging 5.1. So yes, he has a better average rate, which to many people think, hey, he's the better running back, and I don't disagree with you. Because that burst, that explosiveness, the second Warren gets the ball, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
But I do think a lot of that benefits from the fact that when he's on the field, we don't know if he's getting a carry or he's getting one of 61 receptions last year. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Warren had 61 receptions last year. That's 9 less than what Najee has gotten in the past 2 years, collectively.
Yeah.
That's why I say Najee needs to be used in a similar fashion to Warren. It'd make our run game a lot less predictable. We'd see a lot more production. We'd see a lot more great things from the rushing attack.
Right.
You know, we'd see a lot more breakaways for a guy like Najee, and even for Warren.
And I do want to see that because, again, Najee has showcased that, hey, he can be a viable receiving back. He did in Alabama. He did it a bunch in his rookie year. He done it time and time the past 2-3 years, in the second and third year. The guy can do it.
No, because we've seen, regardless of what we've seen, both these backs have had great seasons.
They're freaking studs, man.
Fucking incredible. They're both starters without having to be starters, really. Najee's listed as the starter, but truthfully, they're 50-50.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of last year. They were 50-50 down the line. You couldn't get it any closer than that. It was incredible.
And just talking about,
they were co-starters.
Dude, they were, and that's exactly what they are.
They're co-starters.
And they gel well together. They're tandems. They're different styles. They gel well together. And they've carried the offense the past 2 years.
So think about this. Think about this. If they were to use Najee's experience or Najee's versatility a little more, I think that our running game would benefit even to a greater degree than what it already has. Now, I know we're in a different run scheme. We're going to a wide zone, which is something Najee is not very experienced in. That's something that's not really Najee's forte.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot more outside runs. We're going to see a lot more wide runs from these guys. That's kind of what Warren benefits from because of his burst. Najee relies a lot on his blockers and trying to find a hole to get through. That's why he's a much better north and south runner. So perhaps that might not benefit Najee. Maybe that's the reason why they declined his 5th-year option. They want to see what he does in a scheme that's not really to his benefit.
Yeah, that was the report that came out from Jerry Dulac and even Brooke Pryor. You know, they want him to prove himself once again.
Very possible, but at the same time, and I don't want them to be so one-dimensional with certain players, because that's when the predictability comes back to the play.
Yeah.
But run the plays to the best of the players' benefit, to their strengths.
Their best traits. Yeah.
That's what a good coordinator is supposed to do. You're supposed to run your scheme, run the plays, call the plays to the best of the personnel's benefits, the best of the personnel's strengths.
Yes.
So that's what I'm hoping this year. So despite the predictability or the lack of versatility we saw the past couple of years between these backs, or between Najee specifically, it was still great production. So imagine this year if we start actually using more of that.
I hope you do.
With an OC that is run heavy.
And in that case, I would say it's a big necessity to keep not just one, but both.
Exactly, which is why I want to see Najee get extended. I really do. If he's not, I'm not butthurt. But as a fan, as seeing what Najee has been through and what he has done,
God bless him.
He deserves it.
Yes.
He deserves it. So I want to see him get his with the team that he has helped benefit. It's only right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was blindsided by him not getting a 5th year, but maybe they still extend him because it's still possible.
I do hope so.
So do I, man.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what Khan has up his sleeve. We'll see what it really comes down to, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Who knows when that's going to be, but yeah. I mean, if this is Najee's last year, hope he goes out with a bang and hope he gets the bag. That's all I can wish for a guy like him, man. Russ in the chat says, if we have no major injuries, we're winning the North at 13-4 and the number 1 seed, then winning Super Bowl. Fans think I'm nuts, but so much talent. O-line going to be top 5. Najee runs for 1,400 and J War for 1,100. That's insane. That'd be NFL records for rushing. Seriously, that'd be crazy. I do believe, or I do think there's a strong possibility that Warren and Najee could both hit 1K.
Oh, I think it's a huge possibility.
I think it's very possible. I don't know if they get anything over than 1,100 or 1,200 for each. But each respectively getting 1K, I think could very well happen. They're both too good. The line is now complete.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the potential lines up perfectly, man, the stars are aligned like they're supposed to. In fact, I'm curious. How do I want to question this? When was the last time there were 2,000-yard rushers?
What, for the Steelers?
No,
in general.
Just general.
I think off the top of my head, I can't tell you.
I mean, I know last year we had both guys had over 1,000 scrimmage yards.
Yeah, but as far as like rushing. That I don't know.
Yeah, because last year they were one of a few duos that had over 1,000 scrimmage yards between two backs. I know Blyer and what's his name? Blyer and Franco did it. I know, there was another back duo that did it in the 2000s. I forget who it was. I actually forget exactly what the full list was.
Was one of them Parker?
Had to be.
I don't know.
Hold on, let me see. Now I gotta search it up. Because I'm curious.
If you can find it.
Okay, I'm sorry. It wasn't the 2000s. It was the 80s. So Warren and Najee joined Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer in 1976.
Mm-hmm.
Walter Abercrombie and Frank Pollard in 1985, and Abercrombie and Ernest Jackson in 1986 as the only pair of Steelers running backs to surpass 1,000 scrimmage yards each in the season.
So it was the first time since the 80s.
Since 86 that a duo was able to do it.
Pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
86.
And they had the opportunity to do it again. Back to back.
Wow.
They have the high possibility of doing it back to back. Imagine that.
Now I want to search when was the last time there was an NFL team with each 1,000 rushing yards. Because that's what I'm really here for.
That I don't know.
Last time was 2019. Well, that doesn't count. Actually, it does if you count Lamar Jackson as a running back.
It's rushing stats.
The last time that there were 2,000-yard rushers for a team was Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram in 2019.
I remember
They
that.
broke records for the most rushing yards by a team in NFL history.
Didn't they go one and done? Too?
Yes, they did.
Good.
That's Harbaugh for you.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
why the Ravens will never win a Super Bowl with Harbaugh and Jackson.
And we're not talking about just Jim or no John. We're talking about Jim too.
Yeah. But if we're talking running backs, unless you want to put Lamar Jackson as a running back.
You can throw it.
But let's be honest, like the halfback position. The last time that happened was 2009. The Carolina Panthers with Jonathan Stewart
and D'Angelo Williams.
D'Angelo Williams.
That's right.
The last time that happened.
Sense. That makes sense.
The last time that happened was 2009. Before that was 2008 with the Giants. Graham Jacobs and Derek Ward. Before that was 2006 with Warwick Dunn and Michael Vick, who was a quarterback. The last time that happened was 1985 with Kevin Mack and Ernest Biner. The last time that happened was 1976 with Franco and Blyer for the Steelers. So the last time there was a Steelers running back duo that had 1,000 yards rushing for each rusher was 1976.
That was 48 years ago.
And the last time that happened with any running back duo, pure running back, was 2009. Could that happen this year?
Well, Najee and Warren could put themselves in the history books.
And the first time that
In contract years.
There's only been 7 times that's ever happened. 7 times.
Yep.
And if you want to talk strictly the running back position, not including quarterbacks, that's only happened 5 times. Because if you include Vic and Lamar in this, it happened 7 times. But if you're talking pure running backs, it's only happened 5 times.
Yeah.
The first time that happened was in 72. The 72 Dolphins was Larry Zonka and Mercury Morris. Wow, man. So it's a rare occurrence, but I think there's a strong possibility it could happen this year. That'd be something.
Something to look forward to. It is something to look forward to.
Just saying, man. I'm not going to put it out there.
Is that one of your early bold predictions?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How many rushing yards did Vic have? Vic had that year 1,039 before it was broke by Vic with 1,206. That was back in 2006, bro. Vic was revolutionary. Vic was something, bro. Vic in his prime before everything was even his comeback.
There's a reason why he was the most played Madden player of all time. Mm-hmm. Everybody played for him.
Yep.
Everybody wanted to get him.
Yep.
Hell, our oldest brother, bro, like he said several times, because they had Tommy Maddox in the old Madden games. He's like, I always traded for Michael Vick. I'm like, I don't blame you. Yeah. I don't blame you. Why the hell not?
I know when I play.
Man, that's still weird that man was a Steeler, even as a backup for 4 games.
It happened.
That was weird.
It happened. I remember that game versus the Chargers on Monday night very vividly. I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember when he got hurt versus the Cardinals and Landry Jones had to come in and Martavis Bryant saved the day. 2 touchdowns.
Which, by the way, Bryant got released by the Cowboys.
Yeah, he's done. He's done with
I don't
football.
know. Yeah, apparently he's getting interest.
Well, he can get interest, but it's not going to be us.
I'm not saying us. It's not happening. I know. His number's taken, dude.
It's not happening.
His number's taken.
sorry.
It's too late.
That's who Jay War and Najee remind me of. Stewart and D'Angelo. They're both so happy for each other. When they make great play, no animosity, have great relationship. Got to keep these two together. I agree, Russ. 100%. I think
that's a good take.
I hope the Steelers feel the same way. It's very important for this team, especially with the quarterback situation. Still a question mark. Improved, but still a question mark.
Yeah.
If TJ Watt stays healthy, maybe he gets a sack record. I mean, he should already have it. Digital dust. He should already have it. But he doesn't. He should already have it.
And even then, they'll give the Defensive Player of the Year award winner to
Myles Garrett.
Sauce Gardner. It's going to happen.
Because he didn't have one. Sauce Gardner is overrated. He's good, but he's just overhyped.
Nick Bosa, once again.
No. Aaron Donald. Oh, what? Oh, he retired? Oh, shit.
Oh, we can't do that.
I don't know. Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I can see that. Yep. There it is.
That'd be terrible. That'd be absolutely terrible. Oh God. Vic was so fun to watch too during his time like a man and made comeback. Yeah, he made a great comeback too.
He was the definition of clutch.
Yeah, man.
He could pull a win out of his ass anytime.
You know, well, so could Ben, so could Brady, so could Rodgers at one point. You know?
But Vic was something though.
Vic was
something in his prime.
There
when he
wasn't
could
a
do it.
quarterback. There wasn't a quarterback like him. Like you had your early comers. You know, you had like a Randall Cunningham. You had a Dante Culpepper who was more of a passer. You had a Aaron McNair who was more of a passer, but he could run the ball if he had to. But Vic was just different. Like he was different. Even Cordell, right? Cordell was way ahead of his time. He was nowhere near the passer like Vic, but he was way ahead of his time. If he played in the same era as Vic, like, I'm not saying he could have been Vic, but, you know, he could have been par in terms of just that production. Because at that time, yeah, for sure. But, yeah, I mean.
Good old Slash, man.
Yeah, seriously. Are we going to see Justin Fields week 6 if Russell Wilson struggles? If Wilson struggles, I don't know when we see him. I don't know if he ever starts this year.
Yeah, that's actually a good question by Nathan. Like, if Russell struggles, I don't know when they would put Fields in.
Depends when he struggles. Could be like Mitch, where it's 3-4 games in.
You think they do it that quick? You think they give up real quick on Russ?
Probably not.
From there?
Probably not.
With Mitch, I mean, it's not hard to see why. With Russ, I don't know if they'd be that quick, unless it's like so unbearably bad that they have to put in Fields. But I don't know.
Yeah, it would only have to be if he's hurt or struggles. I don't know if anything's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen at the quarterback position, man. I do think that Fields won't be a bench warmer completely. I think he'll be in just to keep the defenses on their toes. We're going to use his speed. We're going to use his legs. We're going to use his throwing arm. We're going to get creative with Fields.
Because I never thought of Wilson ever getting benched because he never did before. His play was never that bad to a point where he got benched. The only reason he got benched was because Denver didn't want to give him the money that they guaranteed him.
Correct.
That's the only reason why he got benched. Other than that, he was having a solid bounce back second year with Denver.
Yeah, more touchdowns than the MVP.
So I never thought of he could get benched by the Steelers. I never thought of that.
So yeah, I don't know what to expect from the quarterback play, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he'd be benched. He'd have to be really bad, like Mitch bad.
I can't see that.
Me neither.
It would have to be a certain low to be.
Mitch was a certain low.
How can you get lower?
You gotta be worse than Kenny Pickett, bro. And he was worse than Kenny Pickett.
How can you get lower than that?
You can't.
There's no way, right?
Listen. I know. And we've made this evident, man. All we knew was Ben for a long time. We didn't know life before Ben, okay? We were too young. We weren't born early enough. But I swear to God, Mitch might be Mitch might be the worst quarterback I've ever seen.
I thought Landry was bad.
Landry at least made. Fuck.
Landry could actually throw the ball.
No, man.
I'll give Landry this. He could actually throw the ball decently.
Yeah. He wasn't good. No, he was never good.
It's not saying much, but I'll take Landry over Mitch.
I would too.
I'll go that far. Gun to my head, I'm taking Landry.
At least he had a couple comebacks versus the Browns, hilariously.
And the Cardinals.
That was Martavis.
Yeah, it was Martavis, you're right.
It's Martavis. Even the Raiders. Was it the Raiders?
Yeah, he stepped in when Ben got hurt. Yeah.
That was AB's 284-yard game.
That was a wild game.
Very wild game.
Yeah, I remember hearing Ben got hurt and Landry goes, and I'm like, oh no, we lost.
Yeah, Elijah.
I didn't trust Landry, bro.
Elijah, I'll put poll in chat. Landry couldn't get AB a touch. No one could get AB a touchdown if it wasn't Brady or Ben, bro.
AB didn't catch a pass from Vic, did he? A touchdown pass.
No,
Marcus Wheaton did.
Marcus Wheaton did.
That was a pretty bomb.
No. AB didn't catch any touchdown pass from anyone else outside of Ben or Brady ever.
At least he can say that. Did he catch one from Bruce Kwiatkowski?
No.
Charlie Batch?
No.
Yeah, man, I don't think he did.
He never caught one touchdown pass outside of being in the Steelers uniform. I remember that stat being very evident.
Okay. And then, of course, he caught touchdown passes from Brady. So, AB can hang his hat on that. I caught touchdown passes from two of the best quarterbacks of all time. He can say that.
Yeah, he can also say a lot of things. And he will.
CTE, ESPN, yeah.
And he will. Well, he'll say certain things I will not say here that he said to a certain GM back in Oakland. Yeah. Remembers that, huh? Remembers that. That was weird.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks will be on a short leash because English. The quarterbacks
Slow
will have
down.
a short leash because Tomlin seat is kind of warm this year. You think?
Still elite.
Do you think? I think Tomlin's job is secured.
He has yet to sign an extension. I figured he would have signed one by now because that's what Rooney would do.
Art Rooney has already said we got a contract extended for him.
He hasn't signed it yet. I'm anticipating it to happen. I am.
I would not give him the contract.
No.
I wouldn't. I'd give him this year to see what he can do. I want to give him the extension.
And that's as far as I'm going.
If he doesn't give us a playoff game this year, he's not getting extended. That's how I see it.
The roster that he's got, the upgrades at quarterback, linebacker, the defense, the offensive line.
Zero excuses.
This man has not won a playoff game. I know it's been reiterated, but it's true. And it's the most important stat out of everything else.
This is the longest playoff win drought we've had since before 1972.
We haven't won a playoff game since 2016, and that was against Kansas City. And we didn't even score a touchdown in that game.
I think the longest playoff win drought between 72 and this year was somewhere right between Bradshaw's last year and right before Cowher came in. I got to search it.
Right.
I don't know off the top of my head. Now I gotta search it because I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it was like sometime in the 80s, maybe like the late 90s, early 2000s, and Cowher's are like mid years, right when we didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So our longest playoff win drought now is from 2016
to current 2024.
Yes, well, 2016 playoffs to now.
Yeah.
Which has been 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
8 years. Going on 7 years, potentially going on 8. Let's put it that way. Our longest playoff win drought before that was 2010, where we went to the Super Bowl, to 2015. 5 years. Right? Before that, our longest playoff win drought before that was 1997 to 2001. So 98, 99,
2000, 2001, so 4 years.
So 4 years. But before that, if we want to get like legitimate, like our longest playoff win drought was, what was it? 79 to 84. So 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. 5 years. 4 or 5 years, we went without a playoff win drought. That was our longest playoff win drought, which was at least 4 to 5 years without a playoff victory. Before that. Now we're going on almost 8.
Yeah. I'm not giving Tomlin a contract extension unless he showcases that he can show up in the playoffs. He can take this roster, he can coach this roster, and he can lead this team to a far playoff push.
Yeah, and that's why...
Because that's what we're looking to do. That's the reason why Khan made all these moves. That's the reason why Khan had the draft that he did.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Khan's trying to fix Colbert's errors.
That's why, and thanks to Inmate Man and Menards Maniac for the Super Chats. They're saying Super Bowl, Super Bowl. You guys can feel that way. That's your freedom as a fan. I know Khan is building a Super Bowl team. I can't dispute that. My belief or my distrust in the coaching staff is preventing me from going on with the full-fledged Super Bowl belief. They're building a Super Bowl team. I don't think this coaching staff, specifically Tomlin, can win us a Super Bowl. I don't. Not until we get a deeper run or a playoff win.
And they got to They got to instill the trust back into us.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel, but me and Dan here, we don't have that trust when it comes to a far playoff push. It's always the same thing where it's over 500, barely make the wild card as a 7th seed, and then one and done. It's always the same thing, rinse and repeat.
Last year solidified it for me for Tomlin. Like after the Texans blowout, after what was it? There was another. Was it the Jags game? One of the Jags games.
Yeah, the Jags game was bad. The Patriots game was bad.
Patriots game. Oh God. Patriots and Cardinals back to back. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. After that, specifically the Texans game. That solidified to me that we're never going to win another Super Bowl under Tomlin until he proves me wrong. Because I believed that he had a chip on his shoulder, being Ben was gone. He has his own team now, his own quarterback. Like this has no coward ties to it anymore.
No, this is all him. This is all Tomlin.
This is all Tomlin-led squad, right? So I had a belief that let's see if he can do it. Let's see if he can write off the whole cower talk that everyone goes to, right? And to me, last year, that was the nail on the coffin that, you know what, it's just going to be that for his career. That one win was because of that, the cower team.
Yeah.
Because to me, he can't show that he can lead his own squad to a Super Bowl. Last year solidified that for me after the Texans lost because it's the same thing over and over every year. We get blown out. We're seeing more blowouts than we should see as Steelers fans. It's more evident than years past. Mm-hmm. We're getting legends talking about it. We're getting legends talking about the lack of culture in the locker room.
And this is year after year after year.
This is years on end. Like we're hearing the same stories every single year.
It's a common theme.
So
all
that
the time.
belief in Tomlin went away from me, and now I firmly believe that we won't win a Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin again until he proves me wrong. So when you guys say Super Bowl bound and we're winning the Super Bowl and we're making a Super Bowl push, I agree that we are building a Super Bowl team. But I don't believe the team and the coaching can lead us to a Super Bowl victory. Because we can't even win a playoff victory.
It's hard to say that we're going to the Super Bowl when we can't even make it past the freaking wild card.
James Harrison said it months ago on the McAfee show. James Harrison.
We can have a Super Bowl bound team all we want, and that's the goal. That should always be the goal. Nothing different. Should always be Super Bowl or bust. That's it. But when it comes to recently what the Steelers have done and how the coaching has failed several times, time and time again, it's hard to say we're going to the Super Bowl based off what's happened recently.
Right. But despite us saying that and feeling that way, that's not going to stop us from getting hyped about this season. That's not going to stop us from getting excited about the moves in the draft class that they have brought in.
Yes.
Because truthfully, I hope they prove us wrong. I want them to prove us wrong. I don't want to be right. I don't want to sit here and say, I don't think Tomlin can win a Super Bowl. I want him to prove me wrong.
Of course.
I want us to get it.
Of course.
That's all I wish for. I just have that belief as a fan that it's not going to happen. But that's not going to stop me from getting excited about everything that's going on because I do love the direction. I love the completed line. I love the drafting of these guys.
Yeah.
I love the playmakers we've added on both sides of the football. I love the impact that they can make immediately, and I think they will. So that's not going to stop me from getting excited.
No, this season, this has been the most anticipated and excited I've been for a Steelers season in quite a long time.
Yeah.
Even when Ben's later years, I was like, I don't know, like he's getting up there with age. I just don't think Ben has it anymore. And Kenny Pickett, we didn't know what to expect from Kenny Pickett. And last year showed he's not it. He's not the guy.
It took one full season.
But
one full season.
The un-Steeler-like moves that Connor's done and the people that they've brought in and the destination that they're trying to get to, the ride that they're trying to ride on.
It gives you the impression, they're building a Super Bowl.
And I look forward to seeing what Russ can do. I look forward to seeing what they may have in store for Justin Fields. I look forward to the draft class. I look forward to the free agent additions.
Yeah.
I look forward to everything that the Steelers have done and added to the squad with what we already have and what's already proven on this team.
Yeah.
I am excited for this upcoming season more than I have been in quite some time, if I'm being honest.
Me too, because this team is better than last year already. already.
No doubt about it.
Certain positions might be less than last year, but this team is better than last year.
Yeah. And I
So-
do believe that we have a tougher strength of schedule than last year. I think we're top 5 when it comes to strength of schedule.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, maybe top 3. I could be wrong about that, but I know our schedule based off last year's records and the playoff teams, it's going to be tough. But this team and just the leaders that they got now on the team, the talent that they got, I think they can live up to the talent aspect, the potential. They can go out there and play some hard-nosed Pittsburgh Steelers football and just be bound for a championship.
What I've noticed about this draft class is we got guys that are just full of effort, guys that
are from championship schools.
championship winning mentality. They have that winning culture behind them. Roman Wilson, a bunch of the Georgia cats that we've brought in for the past 2-3 years now, right? That's great. We have that. We have now players in the locker room that grew up in the prime of the Steelers, in the prime of the culture. They know what it means to be in the locker room. They know what it means to embrace that logo. They know what it means to play to the black and gold emphasis.
To the standard.
So that gives me great feeling that the future of this team, from a roster aspect, is in very good hands. And I give Tomlin, I give Khan, I give Waddle, I give all the scouts, everyone, all the credit in the world. So that's what gets me excited, because I know this team, the potential is there. I know everything's there. I know it's all there. I just have my doubts about coaching.
You're skeptical
because
about the
coaching hasn't won us anything, and coaching matters.
When you look at the playoff pushes for various other teams, especially some of the top in the AFC, at what they're about and how they are, the coaching sticks out most importantly. It really does. Big time.
Right. Sorry, Twins, but you're all wrong. Tomlin's a defensive coach. He needs the OC to do their job. The Steelers are not going to pay a shitload of money on players and tank. I'm not saying they're tanking. We're not saying no shit. They're not tanking.
Where do we say that they were going to tank or they should tank?
What? Just because we say they're not winning the Super Bowl or we don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl doesn't mean they're going to tank.
Tomlin's never going to...
And I actually agree with you. Tomlin needs to let his OCs do their fucking job. He needs to take a seat back from the defense.
No, but
he needs to take a seat back from the offensive game plan.
You'll never see the light of day of Tomlin just tanking the team. You think he would have when Ben went down against the Seahawks game? No, they traded for Mick Fitzpatrick. We're like, Rudolph, fucking go out there and do what you can do.
They're going to make a push. Otherwise, they wouldn't be making the moves they're making.
Yes.
They're making a push. What we're saying is we don't think the coaching can get the job done. That's what we're saying.
And that's based off recent memory. That's based off recent playoff games. That's what's hurt us.
Yeah.
Because of the people that they have and the fact that they've let us down.
Listen, I want to be wrong. You guys can feel a certain way, and that's your freedom. Okay? I'm not gonna dispute your guys' belief about Super Bowl. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. That's it. That's it.
I'm in the same boat with him. I mean, I felt that way for quite some time. Last year, most importantly, it really stuck out.
I've been feeling that way since after 2020.
That Browns game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a video out there where we literally said Ben needs to go, Ben needs to retire. They should give Mason the starting job in 2021 because there was going to be no fucking difference between 2020 and 2021. And look what happened. Playoff berth and got blown out. The only difference between that team and now is there's a new OC, different quarterback, a much better line, and a lot better front office.
Yeah.
So there's more trust there. The roster is 10 times better. But
yeah, the rosters are different, but when we see like it's going to be the same thing, we're talking about the end goal of the season, like what's going to be the end result of the season. It's a playoff loss. That's what it is. That's what we mean. That's what we mean when we say it's going to be the same stuff, the same shit.
Yeah.
Because it is.
But we hope this year.
And that's stale. It's tired. I'm sick and tired of it.
And that's the fear this year.
I don't want it to be the case.
But the truth is, with this roster, I want to say there's no way.
I hope not.
Come on.
I hope not. That'd be the biggest fucking letdown.
Come on. I'm just going to put it this way, man. If we get a similar rundown that we got last year, then clearly there's a true issue. Because now there's no OC to blame. Now we have an OC with experience, which is what Tomlin wanted.
Yeah.
So if we get similar issues, you guys know who to blame. You guys knew who the common denominator is. I'm just putting it out there. But I'm excited about this season. I'm clearly pushing for a Super Bowl bound victory. I'm pushing for number 7. That's all I want. That's all I wish for. I want at some point in my lifetime to see us hoist another one.
We need to get another Lombardi with that collection.
Yeah, man.
We got to take the top spot again. I'm tired of sharing alongside the Patriots.
Where are the rings at?
Right here.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 6 back there. I want to add a 7th
there, right
one.
there. There you go. Right beside the green jersey. There you go.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There we go.
Right where Rob's big ass head is.
Yes, I got a big head. I know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So yeah. But nah, man, that's our opinion about this upcoming season. We're clearly excited. How can you not be excited? You got to be excited, but certain beliefs about the coaching is restraining us from thinking that we're going to win the big one. But this all started with whole Tomlin and his contract and all that.
Yeah, pretty much to end the discussion, I'm not giving Tomlin an extension unless he showcases a far playoff push. That he can take this squad deep.
If he wins us a playoff game, give him the extension. Simple as that.
All right.
If he goes farther than that, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Don't just give him it because, no losing seasons.
Yeah. What be shit. But regardless of how we think the season's going to end, I'm hype. I'm hyped because I know we have a Super Bowl bound team. We have a Super Bowl bound team. Come on.
I am looking at this roster
This
right
roster's
now.
incredible outside of a few holes. I know, swear jar, we're out again.
We'll work on it. We got you.
God,
we got you.
we're so bad.
I know. We apologize.
Dude, I actually feel
We really
embarrassed.
do.
Sometimes I feel embarrassed by the amount of cursing we do.
Like the bottom's already layered down.
Dude, the season hasn't started.
Almost
The season hasn't started. That was empty before the draft.
Yes, it was.
I'm embarrassed. Okay,
I'm sorry.
I am embarrassed.
I am sorry.
by all the. I am, but it goes into the jerseys at the end of the season. So. I'm not trying to justify it, but I guess so. What if we have a really good season but don't make the playoffs? That's not a good season, bro.
How do you not make the playoffs with this squad? Dude, if that's the case, Tomlin get out. If that's the case, Tomlin, you're done.
Oh shit!
Simple as that.
Oh no, that's not a good season, 4K. No, not this year. God Almighty, bro. My God.
Is that 9-8 but no playoff appearance, or is that 10-6 but still no playoff appearance? Either way, still
no playoff appearance.
Either way,
with this
still
roster?
it's still
Are you kidding
it's
me?
still a failed season.
So you're telling me you make the playoffs with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitch Trubisky starting, and
you can't do it, Russell Wilson.
but you can't do it with Russell Wilson and or Justin Fields, and a better offensive line, and a better defense.
How would that be possible?
We actually have a starting strong safety. We have a better linebacker room.
You don't have
we have a better cornerback too.
You don't have Matt Canada.
That alone. I mean, my God. I wonder if Smith is going in the booth or on the field with the players. He's always been on the field.
Yeah, he's always been an on the field type of person as coordinator, head coach. I feel like being on the field is a much better environment to being in the booth. When you're in that environment, it's just better communication. You have that vibe, you have that feeling with the players, with the aura of the stadium.
You have the environment.
With the game going on. Like being on the field is I would imagine it's a much better type of vibe.
Yeah.
So I think Smith's I hope he's gonna be on the field.
Yeah. Only way that would happen is if Watt gets hurt again. Yes. If Watt gets hurt, then yeah. I mean, you can kiss your knock on everything that's wood here. Knock on everything that's wood here. You know.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. No. I hope that doesn't happen. If not, then Nick Herbig, bro. Everyone's gonna know your name by next season. I'm telling you right now. Over under $462 in the swerve chart by the end of the season. Under. It might be over 200, but that's all. That's all. I am really trying. We're gonna limit the cursing. I can promise you that. I'm sorry. The O-line in 2021 was Dan Moore, Dotson, Green, Trey Turner, and Chucks. Yeah, that was so bad That was cheeks, bro. That was straight poop.
What's worse, 2021 offensive line or 2016
That was
secondary?
Ben's final year?
Yes. What was worse, 2021 offensive line or 2016 secondary?
You can't. Oh, no.
Because if we were to look at the 2016
no.
secondary, give me a moment, guys.
We had Artie Burns.
I know.
Rookie Artie Burns, who didn't start for the first 9 games.
Still love the pick?
Fuck no. I said I wasn't going to curse.
All right, so here's the defensive backs, okay? Artie Burns, Ross Cockrell, Sean Davis.
Jake, can we get this guy out of here?
Is Jake still trolling?
He said Kenny Pickett was the best quarterback the organization ever had. Why did we get rid of him? We? We. Who's we?
Nope.
I thought you was a Browns fan, bro.
God, this secondary sucked.
Artie Burns, Ross Cockrell, Jordan Dangerfield.
Who remembers that guy?
Sean
Davis,
Davis.
William Gay, Justin Gilbert, Robert Golden, Mike Mitchell. Who? Shabazz?
Shabazz. Okay, Gilbert and Shabazz was squad guys, special teams. So is Dangerfield, but yeah.
This man got 1 tackle in his career. Okay.
The 2016 secondary, it wasted the Killer Bees era. It did.
Yes,
It did.
well,
That was bad.
You know other defensive backs that were on like IR that couldn't play? Shamarco Thomas. Senquez Golson.
Play? He played? Oh, he didn't.
He didn't. Oh my God.
Burns, Cockrell, Mitchell.
Yo,
and
Mike
Davis.
Hilton was on the practice squad in 2016.
Yeah, because 2017 is when he made the roster.
Bro,
as
what
the
were
starting
they? What were
slot.
they waiting for, bro?
If we could win a playoff game, that will be the right move in the right direction. And did you hear anything about Bell? Jim, I completely agree. And what about Bell? About him boxing? I know he's boxing again.
I have not heard anything about Le'Veon Bell lately.
What about Drew Brees? Drew Brees, what? Drew Brees, what? What about Drew Brees?
What about Drew Brees?
What about Drew Brees? What you talking about, Jake? What about Drew Brees? Drew Brees was great, but clearly never a Steeler. I always wanted a Ben versus Brees Super Bowl. I swear to God, man, honest to God, I will die on this hill. I thought 2017 was the year it was going to happen. 2017, man, it was supposed to be Ben versus Brees. It was supposed to happen. Instead, we lost to the Jags, and the Minneapolis Miracle happened.
Yeah, it did.
On the same day.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken twice on that day. Because once the Steelers were out, I wanted Breeze to get another one because he deserved it. I loved Breeze. If it wasn't Manning, it had to be Breeze. No one wanted to see Brady again.
We had very few Ben versus Brees matchups.
No.
Very few.
One of the better ones, which really wasn't better because we lost that game, was 2014. Remember when Kenny Stills killed us?
Not just I remember that one. That was right after our bye week. I remember that. Saints won that one. That was in Heinz Field. Then we
27.
No, it was 2018.
18. When Joe Hayden got that
pass interference.
ridiculous pass interference on Kamara.
That's all he did.
And then Juju,
That's all he did.
And then Juju fumbled the game away.
Man, that was heartbreaking.
That was AB's last game ever as a Steeler.
What was his stats for that game?
I don't know. Ryan Conley with a $5 says Pittsburgh sports teams are in a complete mess right now. Yeah, they are. It's bad. The Steelers are our last hope. The Pens need to tear everything. And the Pirates, bro, what happened?
Well, they got.
I can't say what happened with the Pirates because this happens every year.
They got their pitcher in there.
I know, but still.
That's something to look forward to, right?
You think the Pirates? You're gonna trust the Pirates?
I don't know. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they have something to look forward to. But they'll probably trade him in 2 years.
The Steelers are our only hope.
No one Bob nutting?
For Pittsburgh sports, the Steelers are our only hope. Again.
Always will be.
Yeah. Because in the 90s, bro, the Steelers were pretty good in the 90s. But, you know, they didn't bring one home. At least the Pens have back-to-back wins in the 90s. During the Lemieux and Yager era.
Hell, the Pens had back-to-back wins in 2010s.
Yeah, I know they did. They won 3 within the 2000s era.
They did.
Well, not 2000s and then a couple in the mid 2010s.
I think they won 3 within a span of 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it's still good.
They've had 3 Stanley Cups in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. No, I think it was 2000. Was it 2008 they won?
Thing was, yeah.
2008 they won. And
Yeah,
then
it was the year- it was the year of
2000,
Pittsburgh, yeah.
2015 and 16, I think the Pens won back
That was
to back.
16, 17.
16, 17?
16, 17.
One of those. It was one of those.
Yeah. That was when they had the HBK line.
Yeah. Kessel and all that.
Yeah.
Oh.
They had Daly. Trevor Daly.
Trevor Daly. What a man. He was a. Yeah. I remember that. What about what did Jake say now? What did Jake say now? What did I miss? Breeze was so underrated. What are you talking about? Underrated? What are you talking about? Underrated? This guy's like second all time in passing yards. Underrated?
Do you think Breeze gets brought up enough, though?
Well, you have to bring him up. How can you not?
Oh, because they always bring up like Brady and
Clearly.
Manning and Marino and who else? Ben.
They don't bring Ben up. But Ben's not underrated. When I think of underrated, I think of guys that just, just aren't, like you alluded to, aren't talked about enough. But
That's what I mean by Breeze.
but
Do you think Breeze doesn't really get that recognition?
I think he does.
You really?
He has the records for it.
Yeah, I know he does, but I don't think like many people talk about it. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he's.
I haven't seen it.
He's critically acclaimed.
As he should be. I just don't see enough of the recognition towards Breeze's way. That's what I'm saying.
I guess you're right.
I don't know.
If you want
that just might be
well,
me.
if you want to be right about, you're not wrong. Especially since he had 5,000 yards. How many seasons?
He didn't win an MVP.
No, he didn't.
No, they gave it to A-Rod.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that should have went to J.J. Watt in 2014. I know Ben and Breeze had the same passing yardage. Breeze had more touchdowns because that always happened. But no, J.J. Watt should have won in 2014, not A-Rod. Not Breeze, not Ben, not A-Rod. It should have been J.J. Watt. But even still. Yeah, Breeze, Ben, you're right. He had horrible defenses. Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Ben had a similar situation in his prime. Breeze had no targets, and still had over 5,000 yards consistently. So, yeah, if you want to call him underrated, you can. I just think, when you talk about the greatest quarterbacks of all time, he's often brought up, and you have to bring him up just because the records show it.
Sure. From that standpoint, I can understand.
Yeah. Philip Rivers doesn't get enough love. That's because Philip Rivers was never clutch.
He knew how to sling it.
But his throwing motion is just so weird.
I get what you mean by that. Because you go to slinging it and just the motion.
You ever see that
so
video?
different.
Maybe this is the video he was making it about. Remember that video of Bengal where he's in his backyard just doing the.
Yeah.
Dude,
now that you mention it.
That's Rivers. His throw motion is just weird. Rivers was never clutch. That's why he's never talked about. Trent Green was the most underrated quarterback. Didn't he win a Super Bowl?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Why do I feel like he won a Super Bowl? Maybe I'm completely dead wrong on that.
I know he was a Chief for some time.
That and he was with Washington. Didn't he win one? No, he was with the Rams. Well,
He was
technically he won, but he was the backup.
So he's the backup to Kirk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know Trent Green was the backup to A-Rod Kurt Warner for a bit.
Yeah. I think Rivers had a baseball injury, which is why it changed to that weird throwing motion. I didn't know he played baseball. Wow, that might make sense.
Rivers got too much love and never learned to wrap it up. That's how he had 152 kids.
Yeah, I know. He has a whole family lineup now. He can play legitimate scrimmage football in his backyard because of how many kids he has. My God. Nobody brings up Joe Montana. Now, Wheezy Hughes, you wheezing. Come on. Everyone brings up Joe Montana. Joe Montana. Now, if we're talking underrated quarterbacks, you can't say Dan Marino because he set the record back then. And if he was drafted by
For statistics and money.
yeah.
Underrated.
I would
quarterbacks.
never put him in one of the greatest of all time, but I always thought McNair was underrated.
Aaron McNair?
Yeah. When he was with the Titans. Let me see. I'm trying to think back to like what I grew up with.
Yeah. Because you had your Bradys, you had your Mannings, you had your Bens. You
had Breeze.
Yeah, you did.
I'm trying to think.
A-Rod, of course.
Frank Tarkenton, Charlie Batch, one of the best backups of all time. Jake Hayner. You're talking about the Saints backup, Jake Hayner.
Yeah.
He must be messing with Jake. Brett Favre's Iron Man streak is pretty badass. Yeah, it is. I mean, no one's ever going to touch that. No one's ever going to touch that.
No.
No one's.
Favre was the definition of toughness.
Oh, my God. He was also the definition of interception. He was the definition of gunslinger. He threw the most interceptions, but, man, he also threw the most touchdowns at the same time.
Yeah.
Guy could sling the fucking football. Johnny Unitas was slinging the ball back when you could obliterate quarterbacks who would have thrived in today's NFL. You know, Johnny Football, the real Johnny Football. Yeah. He was a Steeler, man, and we let him walk because our coaching was so bad back then.
Yeah, they thought that he didn't have the smarts enough to play football.
Terry Bradshaw is underrated because he had the greatest defense ever assembled. Yeah. Yeah. Terry Bradshaw played in a physical league as well. Him, Staubach, all of them.
Yeah, they did.
All
Ken
them.
Stabler.
Kenny Stabler, the Snake. Yep.
Guys like that.
Yeah.
Len Dawson, too.
Len Dawson, yeah.
Yeah. Former Steeler, too. Len Dawson was a first-round pick by the Steelers. They let him go. Yeah. Fun fact.
Wow, that's new. Carson Palmer was under. I'll give you that. Palmer was underrated.
Yeah.
Palmer was underrated.
Man, that just unlocked another quarterback. Carson Palmer. Wow.
I haven't heard that name in a while. I remember when he was a Cardinal. All right, remember when Mike Mitchell intercepted him? One of his few interceptions he ever made for us?
No,
Jim Kelly-
I don't remember that, actually.
Jim Kelly, 4 Super Bowls, even though they lost. Dude, I remember we were watching that documentary. I think it's on Netflix about the Bills.
It was.
They just can never get the job done. 4 Super Bowls, man. It takes a team to go to 4 Super Bowls, but to not win one is
Twice they lost to Dallas. I think that was back-to-back, too.
I know, man. But you got. I don't know. To go to 4 straight Super Bowls is such an impossible task. So you gotta give them credit, but they lost in every one of them. So you don't want to give them too much credit.
They didn't get a Lombardi, so it's like, what was it for?
I know, man. They'll always be known as a team that can never get it done.
They still can't.
No, they can't. They never will.
Sorry, Buffalo. It's just how it is.
How about the Niners trading in front of the Steelers to draft Jerry Rice? Yeah. Yep. It's one of those things. Lawrence Taylor was underrated. No, he's not. LT is probably the best defensive player of all time. Troy Aikman, I wouldn't say he's underrated because he was part of the triplets that won multiple Super Bowls back then.
Yeah.
But you could put him there. People don't regard him as the greatest, or when you talk about greatest, he's not really up there.
Yeah.
Like, he's not regarded a lot. So maybe in that category, you could put him there.
Would you put Drew Bledsoe up there as underrated? He was the guy for some time for Brady.
Yeah, he's the one that sent them to Super Bowl against Favre.
Yeah, he did.
Before Brady walked in. So, yeah, maybe. Maybe you do that.
He had the Patriots lingering till Brady take over, and we all know what happened.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is underrated. Nobody respects him.
I'll give you that. He doesn't get... Jake, I don't agree with a lot of your shit, but I give you that.
Can you say Atlanta doesn't respect him?
He's not... Clearly not. He's not clutch, though.
No, he's not.
He's not clutch.
The guy can sling it. The guy can get touchdowns like it's nothing. But in prime time and playoffs, it's like a completely different quarterback.
Who's more underrated, Creed or Nickelback? Creed.
Yeah, Creed.
Creed's awesome.
I think Nickelback gets a lot more publicity than Creed.
Well, they get a lot more hate too.
Yeah, I know they do.
I enjoy both, but I'd go Creed. Creed should have gotten a halftime show. I'm sorry. And no, I don't count that Thanksgiving one back in the early 2000s. They should have gotten a halftime show at Super Bowl. Might be too late now, but yeah, I'd say
probably
Creed.
too late.
I'd say Creed. No, they would never put one of the older guys out there.
No.
Most underrated actor, Kevin Bacon or Tom Cruise? Kevin Bacon.
Tom Cruise is always in the big movies. Kevin Bacon,
Yeah.
I mean, like, he was in Friday the 13th, Tremors, a couple other movies too. Tom Cruise, I mean,
I don't watch
Top
a lot
Guns
of
and
Kevin
all that
Bacon
stuff.
movies. I've never seen a Tom Cruise movie. Never seen The Maverick. Never. Swear to God. Kill me. Never. Never seen it. Never seen a Tom Cruise movie. I don't care for it. My life is not going to change by seeing a Tom Cruise movie. I'm sorry. Joe Burrow is injury prone. Is in injury prone territory unless he proves me wrong. Yeah, I agree. You know what? I'll be real with you about Joe Burrow, though. I feel like healthy Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the league.
I think he showed that in the second year.
He did. No, because it's Pat Mahomes. You're not taking that. Josh Allen can't get the job done, so he might be top 5.
He's
not
more gifted than Joe Burrow as far as athleticism and just a football player.
Joe
in general.
Burrow is a smarter quarterback.
Yes, Joe Burrow is smart.
Yeah.
He's more safe. Allen just does this shit.
I think Joe Burrow, when healthy, is the second best quarterback in the league.
Joe can sling it. It's just, you can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Whether it's an ACL or whether it's a finger, an ankle, a back, a neck. It's just something with Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, like, never wish injury upon anybody, especially rivals, because that's just not right.
Right. Watch one Tom Cruise movie, you've seen them all. Same character every movie.
Okay.
It's one dimension. It's like watching The Rock's movies.
I'll take your word for it.
The fun of us. Seen one, you've seen them all. Remember, you ever seen that meme going around where he's wearing the same clothes?
Yeah, these are 4 different movies. Yeah.
He's one dimensional.
I haven't seen the new Jumanji. I haven't seen the one with Ryan Reynolds. I can't remember the name of it.
You want to know an underrated?
I haven't
Since we're talking underrated, you want to know an underrated actor?
What?
Zac Efron.
Yes.
He played
I gotta give him props.
obviously in High School Musical.
Everybody
Right.
knows that.
And
Vanessa Hughes.
Well, back then those guys were just primed for like the high school type movies,
No, but Efron took his
What they call them back then? Flick chicks, right?
chick flicks.
Chick flicks, yeah, that.
Yeah, yeah.
Chick flicks.
But Efron took his career to a whole different level. Like, he expanded his style to different genres.
Yeah.
To different genres.
I've seen him play Ted Bundy in the movie they made about him, which was very fucked up. But
Yes.
I've seen him play Ted Bundy, so you've seen a darker side. We literally just got done watching the movie about the Von Erichs, the Iron Claw. You've seen his line of work there.
Like,
The way
Jesus
he was able to
Christ.
build his body and his acting there. So I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah, Efron's very underrated.
Yeah.
I have to give him that.
because there's not many actors out there that can do a lot. There's so many actors that benefit off of one specific role or movie genre or like movie type. But to find an actor that can do a lot of different type of dimensions is very talented.
Yeah, it showcases his dedication to the role he's playing.
It just shows how good of an actor he is.
It goes to show he takes his job and his career seriously.
That's why I think Dave Bautista is a great actor. I think he's the best wrestler turned actor out there.
Better
Not
than-
Cena, not The Rock. It's Dave Bautista.
Now, what if Roman goes into movies?
I don't know.
He's been talking about that.
I haven't seen that. I can't say that. But Dave Bautista's great. Leo, we know he can play anything.
Yeah.
Leo can play anything. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire can play. Tobey Maguire can play anything. Anything.
Spider-Man, Army veteran. He could play anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. My goodness. Yeah, Tobey Maguire's up there for sure. Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, yeah, she's one of the best female actors out there. Boomer is underrated, I guess.
Oh, former Bengals quarterback.
Phil
yeah.
Simms, yeah, same with him. Phil Simms,
Former Giants
I'll
quarterback.
give you that, Phil Simms, yeah. Concept, I'm not gonna say that. and no, he's not. Despite everything, he's highly regarded as the best R&B artist ever. You can't take away his music talents. But obviously, outside of that, he was. I've watched the documentary.
I haven't, but I'll take your word for it.
I've watched his documentary.
I'm going to be honest.
He has changed these females, bro, to the point that they can't go back to their families.
That's unfortunate. I have not heard one R. Kelly song.
You never heard I Believe I Can Fly? You've never heard that song?
No.
I'm not going to sing it, but you've never heard that song?
No. I Believe I Can Fly.
Do I got to sing it for you?
You gotta sing one.
No, I'm not going to sing it. No, you've never heard that song.
I swear to God. I'm sorry.
Wow, that's surprising.
I'm sorry. Like, I haven't. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just not my genre. Maybe it's just not my thing.
Clearly not.
I'm sorry. What the shit?
I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to sing it, bro. I ain't going to sing it. Eminem's not underrated, bro. He's highly regarded as the best ever. He's not. He's top 5. He's up there.
Top 3.
Eminem, man.
Top 3.
He's the GOAT.
Oh, great. Now, Howard.
That's a very subjective question. A very subjective genre. But Eminem's the GOAT. I'm sorry.
Howard's putting in the lyrics.
Yeah, see? Now sing it. Sing it in your head.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, now it rings a bell. I don't know why I thought of something else. I don't know why. I'm not singing it.
I'm not singing either.
You will not catch us singing I Believe I Can Fly.
No.
I will not think about it every night.
I'll be real with you, though. I never really listened to him. I never did. Never listened to him. And I'm definitely not going to listen to him now. I just can't.
No, thank you.
But then again, I sound hypocritical because I still listen to Michael Jackson almost every day. I have his vinyl covers. I mean, but at least MJ wasn't really. I mean, there's things that suggest that he was, but not like R. Kelly. This has gone completely different.
Yeah.
This has gone to a completely different discussion. Anyway, where were we at? What does Diddy and Deshaun Watson have in common? I know. No Diddy. I listen to metal music. I listen to a little bit of everything, bro. My love is everywhere in the music area, bro. I listen to everything.
I'm pretty much the same way. I listen more so to 80s music.
I love myself
80s pop,
some 80s
rock and roll. Some heavy metal here and there.
I love my metal. I love my country. I love my pop. I love my rock and roll.
Specifically old school country. Like we talking Alan Jackson and
You're talking 90s and beyond.
Well, that was top notch stuff. Today's shit
It's
sucks.
garbage. I know.
It's not country.
No, I agree. Morgan Wallen's garbage. I don't like
Kane Brown. Kane Brown
Loon
sucks.
Holland.
Kane Brown is not good. I'm sorry.
No. But that's why I spread my love everywhere. But it's got to be the old school stuff.
That's because country took it.
I'm not just talking.
What I'm saying because when we were younger, we always listened to country, the old school stuff, and then when country took a dip down, when it sucked, we expanded our listenings to music, and that's when we found everything else.
Yeah.
So that's the backstory.
I'm still finding classics because I'm expanding my stuff, especially to the old school stuff. No, he's not. Concepts, he's not. No, absolutely not. They are pop. with a Southern accent. That's what they are. That's what they are. Anyway, no, but yeah, my love for music is spread everywhere. But it's mostly the like if you look at my playlist, it's mostly like 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s stuff I grew up on. Nothing today just it grabs my attention. Nothing. I can't tell you an artist I like today. I can't.
Nope.
I don't listen to any artists today. No one. Like, I know this Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef's going on. That was entertaining. But
Drake ain't recovering.
But I don't listen to them, like, religiously. I don't. I just don't find interest in today's music.
No, I'm not really passionate about one musician or one band. I don't really have a favorite.
I'm also the same way about video games. I don't religiously play. Oh, first of all, I don't have the time, but I just don't care for any video games anymore. I don't care for anything today. Nothing today grabs my attention like it did as a kid.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, the games you mainly play is sports games like Madden and stuff like that.
All I play is Madden now.
Yeah, but it's the same stuff year in year
all
out.
I play now.
It's just rookies and new players. That's it.
That's all I play now. Then I get bored of that easily. I'll play it maybe once a week.
I can't play Madden no more. I even gave up playing Call of Duty because it's nothing but the same stuff.
I'll be real with you.
And I used to go hard on Call of Duty. You know that.
The only reason I play Madden is because there's a free trial. I swear to God.
Yeah, keep milking that shit.
It's happened for like 6 months. I'm not going to say no. I'm not paying nothing. Screw it. I'll take it. But I only play like once a week.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, I never got into the horror games because I'm a bitch.
I'm the horror guy. I can handle it. I can do it.
I never got into the shooting games because I suck and I was never going to invest the time to get better.
I tried to help you in Call of Duty. You just couldn't.
I suck at Call of Duty.
Well, what about Fortnite?
Well, here's the thing. If I ever play those games, I have to play with somebody. I will never play alone because I'm
Oh, yeah, of course. That's what makes the game fun. That's why you buy the game, so you can play with a buddy.
I got to milk
or
off.
sibling.
I got to milk off someone that's good. That's what I got to do.
Well, then you would just milk off me because I could take down the whole damn team in my prime.
I can't play, bro.
But I can't play Call of Duty no more. It's the same stuff.
I can't play.
The maps suck, too.
If I were to play a video game right now, it's something from my childhood. Or Madden because it's free right now.
Yeah, just get the old console set up. The PS2s or the GameCubes or the 360s or the Nintendo Wii's.
N64.
Yeah.
No.
Or even the OG Super Nintendo, right?
We got it.
We do?
We can play, what's that one game?
Was it NBA Jam?
Yes!
Yeah. That's a
I
classic.
call Stockton Malone. I need a 3-point shooter with Stockton, man. I'm about to play that shit. I'm about to get off and play that shit, bro. Fuck, it's 11:30.
Damn, time goes by when we talk, when we spitball.
I know. But yeah, it's 11:30. I think we're gonna get on out of here now, man. We've been live.
We've been chit-chatting, yeah.
3 hours. We appreciate you guys for joining us tonight. Just pretty much talking about rookie minicamp and all that, and pretty much just blabbering on about whatever towards the end of it. So we thank every last one of you for tuning in tonight. Episode 73 of the Steelers Culture Podcast. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. And make this week a strong one, man. It is mid-May. Before we know it, we'll be in June. And before we know it, we'll be in training camp months. So
yeah, we will.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun, man. But yeah, we're gonna get on out here. Enjoy the rest of our night. And we got another strong week ahead of us. So make this week a strong one, man. Hope you guys have a good week. And we'll see you guys Wednesday night, because the schedule is released this week. This week we will find out who will be opening the season against.
Any predictions?
Oh, hold on. Now I gotta look at the schedule.
Any predictions?
I didn't look at it. Yeah, okay. Before we go out here, give us your guys' predictions who we're gonna open up against the season.
Because I'll give you mine right now.
Because we have the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, Jets, Colts, Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Commanders, and Falcons.
I'll tell you who I think it is going to be.
Who?
It could be a regular 1 o'clock game, could be a primetime game, Monday night, Sunday night, whatever. I think we open up the season against the Denver Broncos.
Okay. Well, I know the Chiefs are opening the season.
Yes.
Against who? I don't know. But we face the Chiefs, which suck, at Heinz Field. We're losing that, by the way.
Well, there's already a loss on that one.
Who I want? Give me the Cowboys, man. Give me the Cowboys.
Cowboys week 1?
But my prediction is going to say I could see the Broncos.
As a matter of fact, hold on. Do they usually open the season against rivals? Is that how it's
No.
usually? Really?
No.
Okay.
No.
I thought it was always the case. Like you open the
could, though.
season
You
with
know-
a rival, end the season with a rival. You know what I mean?
You know what I want to find out? Are we going to open the season with a home game?
Didn't we do that last year?
I think we did. We got blown out, but
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe we get another home game. Or are we going to go on another long streak where we don't open the season with home games? I don't know.
I don't know. Can't
All
always
right.
have nice things.
All right, so I think we're going to open up the season against the Raiders.
Well, some people are saying
Unless they want to do that whole Immaculate Reception anniversary December type thing. I don't know.
they could do that again. I could see that. People are saying the Raiders. People are saying the Ravens Sunday night. The Chiefs, Denver.
Give me the Ravens Sunday night. Come on, man.
They could do that.
Do that. Let's go.
They could do that.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
But
So,
yeah, Wednesday is the schedule release. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
in that case, man, you guys know we'll be live Wednesday night to break down the schedule release and give our early predictions, man. So it's going to be fun. We'll see you guys then. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Make this week a strong one, and we'll see you on Wednesday night. Here we go, Steelers, man.
As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!
Yeah, look at that. Look at those studs.
Let's ride.
Yeah!